What's up? What's up? Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I gotta turn this down so that way I don't hear myself twice. What's up? Welcome back, everybody, to the first. This is the first ever installation of Find Your Love with Dr. Kojo. Uh, as a as a neurodivergent individual myself, see, whenever we take a break from these live streams, you get back into it, you forget how to talk. But as a neurodivergent individual myself, I know how difficult it can be to find your people. And I'm on a personal mission to find my people. I found a couple 100,000 people here on Facebook, another couple 100,000 people on YouTube, and a few million on TikTok. So I'm finding my people, but I'm still looking for my people more. And if you're like me, Leilani, we are a day early, and we're going to stream tomorrow night as well. Don't worry about that. But if you're looking for people like me, whether it's romantically or whether it's just friendship, then you're in the right place. So with this live stream, I cannot wait to get people in here. If you're neurodivergent, even if you're not neurodivergent, if you're somebody who's looking for connection, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, or if you're somewhere to where you can see the whole stream and you can get an email from me, I can bring you to this live stream and we're going to find your people, right? So I found my people. I'm looking for more people. And if you're looking for your people, then you're in the right place, right? So my name is Kojo. Put my little blurb here. My name is Kojo, a post about mental health, comedy, and education. Feel free to stick around. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was 26 years old, but I knew I had it my whole life. I struggled through school, somehow made it to college, and somehow got a doctorate, and I'm somehow here. But it was really hard for me to navigate all these different paths, and it was hard for me. But because of my struggles, you shouldn't have to struggle that much. So we're gonna get into it. I would love to answer you all's questions. If you're brave enough to be in the live stream today, let me know. I'll send you an email, and we will chat it out. And if you're single, hear me out. If you're single, Leilani, thank you very much. Leilani is one of our Discord moderators. Thank you. And she's also a moderator here as well. But if you're single and you're looking for your people, right? Whether it's for friendship or whether it's for dating, and you're bold enough, I will put you on the live stream tonight. And I hope y'all are bold enough, because then I'm a little bit excited. But I'll put you on the live stream tonight, and maybe you might find your partner. You could find your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, or maybe even just a best friend. So I'm excited to get into it. Vanessa, I love you and I'm proud of you too. Thank you so much. Let me get to some of the comments. Long time since I've dropped in. Your workbook has done wonders for me. Sam, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That book is called Feeling Good. It's a mental health workbook. We have actionable items in that book that will help you with any mental health issue that you're going through. If you're going through a breakup, if you're struggling with grief, whatever it may be. In my workbook, we can take the pen and put it to the paper and work things out. So I'm happy that that book is helpful for you. Jordy says, I love tuning in. I'm glad to be here. I'm autistic and your content is so nice to comprehend. Jordy, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I know for me in school, and I'm still a student, I'm always learning all the time. But in school, I had to learn, like, for example, it took me like 3 weeks to learn the difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. And, all that stuff is doctor talk, right? So if one psychiatrist is talking to a group of nurses or a group of NPs, that's different, right? But for you all, I want to break down the mental health content and make it simple for you to understand. You shouldn't have to, if you ask me a question and I explain the answer to you, you shouldn't have 7 more questions for my explanation, right? So I'm very happy that I found my space on the internet. Let me answer a couple of questions as we get started, and we'll get into it. Laura says, here's my question. I feel like I've lost myself and I have lost sight of where I'm going. I want to ask for help, but I just can't for some reason. What do I do? So Laura, the first thing that you want to do is don't judge yourself, right? Asking for help is very difficult. I know from personal experience. And look, I'll give you an example. I'm flying in and out. I'm traveling all this week, right? I get back to LA, I think, was it Tuesday night? Something like that, right? And I asked I didn't ask, but I told a good friend of mine, hey, I'm in out of town. I'll be at LAX or whatever. And he was like, Kojo, I can just pick you up from the airport. And I was like, yeah, sure. Can you? Because I struggle with asking for help. And if you're like me, you feel like when you ask somebody for help, you're such a big burden to them, right? Like it's a major inconvenience. We have to understand, Lord, a lot of people love you. A lot of people care about you, right? So number one, don't feel bad for asking for help. Number two, you feel like you've lost yourself and you've lost sight of where you're going. This is a normal thing. You're not an evil person. You're not slacking off. You're exactly where you need to be. We all lose our way at times. And this is when community, this is why it's so important to have your people. Because when you lose sight of who you are and what direction you're headed in, then it's up to the people around you to be like, hey, Laura, I noticed that, you've been isolating for the past 3 weeks. I haven't seen you. I'm just checking in on you. I love you. Let me know if I can help, right? The people around us are going to keep us accountable and they're going to help remind us of who we are, especially when we forget. Really, really good question. Let me see what Brianna is saying. Do you have videos on tips for being diagnosed with ADHD as an adult? I'm in the exact same position as you in grad school. Ooh. All right. So, okay. Let's talk about it. So, Brianna, if we're being honest, I was in my second or third year of grad school. Before I went to get checked, in my mind, I was already thinking to myself, like, all right, Kojo, we need to go find a doctor and get assessed for ADHD. But I just kept putting it off. I'm like, I don't have money, or I just kept finding excuses. And it wasn't until I reached a point in my life where my relationship was going like this. My grades were already here. My finances were here. And I was doing everything in my power to make sure that I could graduate, grad school, because I'm paying thousands of dollars to, be called a doctor one day. And I just got to a point where, I felt like I was broken beyond repair and everything was a mess. And I had a life-changing conversation with a friend of mine who's also a doctor now as well. And he told me that he had ADHD and he was taking Ritalin and it helped him out. And that gave me the courage to go get assessed. Right. So if you're in the same position that I was, you can type in psychiatrist near me. You can check in with your PCP who's local to you in the area. But just any medical professional who's able to prescribe can help get you back on track. So I hope, Brianna, I hope you come back with some good news sooner than later. Samantha, what's going on? What's going on? Here's a link to my workbook if you're not familiar with it. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Brett says, 2 years. Hey, Brett, what's going on? Hey, I'm still out here. I'm still here. We're still thugging. Do you have any advice for neurodivergent who has just quit smoking cigarettes? Yes, I got advice for you, right? So if anybody who's quit anything, especially cigarettes, more than likely this was a big part of your life, right? You spent a lot of money on it. A lot of your social activities, revolved around smoking and, things of that nature. So once you stop smoking, you have to understand that you're going through an identity shift. You have to be very kind to yourself and hopefully you find people who are also on that same path, that same journey with you. Because if not, once you stop, for people who have become sober, I know from my personal experience, when I became sober, I lost a lot of friends and my life just changed completely. So being kind to yourself is superpower. It's a superpower. Sharon, what's going on? We're also streaming on TikTok. Let me see. TikTok is hard to get the comments on there. Let me see. So somebody on TikTok, Sunshine says, I please need a diagnosis because I feel my mental health has been deteriorating. Do you see new patients? So new patients, no, but I do see patients. I have to figure out, I got to figure out my cadence of how I'm going to go about seeing patients in 2024 because I cannot be completely like free. If you have ADHD, you can understand when I'm bored and I have nothing to do, which is not that often, but when I have nothing to do, that's when self-destructive behavior start on my end. And when I have things to do, then I'm locked in, right? So moving forward, even though seeing patients won't be my main thing, I do want to figure out a way to see patients more, because I'm really good at it. I think I am. Can you explain some of the differences between autism and ADHD? Woo! Y'all asked some good questions here. So, first of all, these are the two main conditions that people refer to when we're talking about neurodivergence, right? So, with ADHD is the issue with regulating your attention and regulating your mood. Plain and simple. It's oversimplification. But with ADHD, you have a hard time regulating your attention and regulating your mood. So right now, I got to focus on this math assignment and just do it at midnight. But for some reason, I want to watch the Lions play the 49ers, and I want to see what Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are doing, right? I'm worried about all these other things except for this math assignment that's due at midnight. You have a hard time regulating your attention. Same thing with your emotions. With autism, it's more so of differences in how you view the world versus a neurotypical person. So with social communication is different. You might struggle with eye contact. You might do things that people consider to be weird, right? You may have sensory issues. You see that with ADHD a lot, but you see sensory issues a lot of time with autism. And what I see when it comes to autism is an impaired ability to communicate with the world, right? So, we have the different levels, like, they used to call it like Asperger's back in the day, high functioning and low functioning. But the higher your functioning is, the less help you need technically. But if you're autistic, I do believe that to some degree you will need help, right? Even if you're, let's say, like level 1 or like, you're high functioning, you're going to need some type of help at some point from somebody, right? And normally with the lower functioning autistic individuals, that impaired ability to communicate often leads to frustration and sometimes aggression, right? So with autism, helping somebody communicate effectively with the world and neurotypical people is huge. It's huge. Am I able to see patients via Zoom? Yeah, it depends on the different state laws and things like that. Yeah, I'll have to be crafty with that. Yeah, Lilani, if you could moderate TikTok, that would be helpful. I'm looking at TikTok right now, and the TikTok comments don't show up on this stream. I wish it did, but it does not. So, Britt, what's going on, Britt? Britt from TikTok. Dirt Wolf says, "You make me feel not alone." Thank you. Dirt Wolf, this is one of the best compliments that I've ever gotten, and I get it often. I love it because whenever we're going through something, depending on how embarrassing it is or how isolating it makes us feel, sometimes we think that we're the only people in the world going through it until you see that there's other people going through the same exact things, and it makes you feel a little less, alone. Becoming sober and losing friends and changing identity is so tough, but so possible. Here's for anyone struggling with their sobriety. You're not alone. Me too. Kendall, I felt that. I'm coming to Arizona eventually. I want to do a comedy show out there. I don't have a question, but I want to say, well, Beechman has been a game changer. That short you posted on YouTube was a good kick me in the right direction. Yee! Big rollout. Congrats. And of course, like I'm not supposed to be on here telling you all which medications are going to work for you because I can't do that, right? I don't know you specifically. But for people who don't want to do stimulants, a lot of my patients have reported that Wellbutrin has been very helpful for them. It's a very versatile medication for smoking cessation, for ADHD, depression. This is a good medication. Grad school chemistry was rough being undiagnosed back then. Battle demons. Sharon, you and me both. You and me both. Keep going. I got diagnosed military. Leilani, I did not know that. Haley says, your videos have changed my own views on my ADHD mental health. Haley, I'm happy that I could help. Let me see. Get to some of these comments. I love these comments. My mind is my biggest enemy. It tears me down, rips me apart, and drives me crazy. It's hard to learn to love yourself when your own body betrays you. And Jessica, look, I'm not disagreeing with you. Everything you're saying here is more than likely facts. Unfortunately, the way we treat ourselves is really a blueprint to other people on how to treat us. So when you feel like this about yourself, when you don't like the person that you are, unfortunately, it gives people a license to just step on you. So working on your self-esteem is something that we don't talk about enough. But self-esteem is very important. And even if your body's betraying you, sometimes you might have to work against your brain, which wants to be negative, and find different ways to love you, love yourself. Shanae Taylor, hey, hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? What can you do while you wait for your appointment months away because you forgot to make it? You can't get your meds. Oof, Jennifer, this is tough. You could look for other people in the area, which, I mean, if you could have been with them in the first place, you would have been got your meds. But what I will say is you can lean into coping skills that you are going to have to use even when you have meds. Because sometimes the meds don't hit like, some days the meds don't hit the way they're supposed to hit, right? That's just life. So you may have to lean on your coping skills. So this is a good time to practice, even though it's not ideal. High functioning A to Z is a person. People don't believe I have autism because I don't believe. Right. So, and we may have to have a live stream on this one of these days where we just talk about this issue specifically. When people don't, there's no look to autism, by the way, right? You can't look at somebody and be like, well, that person's autistic. That's not how it works, right? But if you have autism and you're more so higher functioning, people are going to assume that you don't need help. So they may want you to play by those neurotypical rules, which will cause you a lot of stress. So try to convince somebody about the life you have and the needs that you have. If they're not a core person in your life, I would just save my breath because you're fighting an uphill battle trying to convince somebody who's hell-bent on not believing you. I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid, but never knew, so I went to get diagnosed again. Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. It does not go anywhere. Let me answer these questions real quick before we get into the whole theme about the love and all that. You can go to any type of well, not any type of doctor. I take that back. The most linear path for people is probably your primary care doctor. So that's how I got diagnosed. I went to my PCP, Dr. Peterson. I'll never forget going to his office in Georgia, in Augusta, Georgia. He helped me out a great deal. He was a primary care physician. But you could go to, if it's a kid, they're pediatrician, you can go to a psychiatrist, you can go to a psychiatric nurse practitioner, you can go to a psychiatric physician assistant. But the most linear path for most people is probably your PCP. LaJoy, I appreciate you. Thank you. On year 2 or 4 out of vet school, but looking on tips on navigating life. And look, Brianna, I don't know what your situation is, but for a lot of us who are neurodivergent, we don't really have like a grad school problem or even a relationship problem. It's more so of a life problem. Like we have to figure out a different way to live. A lot of the neurodivergent kids, especially the autistic kids that I've treated before in the past, whenever they have suicidal ideation, I don't think it's more so like, oh, I want to die. No, it's more so of they don't want to live this way that they're living. Like the way that they're living is not sustainable. So at some point, something's got to give. Leah, what's going on? Again, I hope everyone's doing well. I was diagnosed with ADHD at 5, depression in early adolescence, but PTSD later in life. I found out more about how ADHD presents in my brain, and you have no idea. Leah, I appreciate you. Look, y'all got to give yourself some credit too. I'm just part of your story. I'm sure I played a part, right? But you have to give yourselves credit because seeking this information and doing something about it is difficult, right? It's one thing to know. It's a whole other thing to do, right? Especially if you have ADHD, you know that there's a big difference between the knowing and the doing. We know what we got to do. Just we'll do it later, or like eventually, like we'll get to it. Just that we pay a price for like not doing it on time. Kendra, thank you for your content. I appreciate you, Kendra. And a lot of the things that I speak about have to do with things that I struggled with as a kid. Like when I was a kid, there was no TikTok, there was no YouTube Shorts, there wasn't Instagram Reels. So like it was just me as a kid in Nashville, Tennessee, and like, hey, whatever I was going through, it is what it is. Like I was like the only kid on the planet who had ADHD. It was just me, and maybe like one other kid on the school bus, right? But that wasn't the case. But in your head, that's how we see it. At least that's how I saw it. So I'm happy that we have the internet so we can find our people. Let me see what Kara says. Hey, Coach, I was on your live for New Year's and you gave me some great advice. That's helped me so much. Thank you. Kara, congratulations. I give you a love of the show for that. See, when you apply the information, you have to give yourself some credit. I was told PTSD and ADHD coincide. Trauma and neurodivergence, there's a huge link, especially for those people who did not know that they were neurodivergent. Wichita, Kansas in the house. I don't think we even did a location check. Let me know where y'all checking in from. We got Wichita in the house. Look, there's a lot of different tests for autism, but there's no blood test, right? So more than likely it's a series of questionnaires and different specific tests that you have to do with a psychologist. And the specificity on that test, I need to look at that before I tell you how accurate it is. I subbed when I saw some of your shorts of autistic women. Carol, happy to have you here. Hi, mask. Ooh, okay, all right. So we'll talk about the masking in a second. We gotta get to that. All right, let me see. It's a blessing that curse all in one. You're right. We got North Dakota in the house. Okay, North Dakota checking in. Got London, UK, Avondale, Arizona, Orting, Washington. We got Texas, Roxanne. We got Oklahoma in the house. And then we got Tennessee in the house. We got North Carolina, Las Vegas. Oh, it's going to be pretty interesting out there in Vegas in a couple of weeks for the Super Bowl. Grand Rapids in the house, Montana in the house, Canada in the house. Houston, Texas. I love Houston. Was just there. Tighten. You do what make me happy, Lilani. Tighten up. Pennsylvania in the house, Rhode Island in the house, Kentucky in the house, San Diego in the house. I've never been. That's a shame on me. I need to get out there. Ohio in the house, Chicago in the house, Rhode Island, Finland. Wow. Seja, thank you. Happy to have you here. Yukon, Illinois, Atlanta in the house, Sacramento in the house, Manitoba, Canada. We got people all over. All right, so for those people who are watching this stream, for the purposes of this stream, for those people who are watching this stream and you're neurodivergent, tell me what your relationship and your dating life has been like. And if you're brave enough to get on here, let me know. I'll send you an email and we'll get you in the stream. And we may hear from you in person. Hopefully I can help you find your love. I think I would love San Diego, by the way. I've just been too busy. Like I always get down to Orange County and I stop and go back up to LA. I need to check out. I need to give San Diego a good week from what I've heard. Like a good week. Arkansas, the one with the silent. All right. Carrie is describing her relationship life as a neurodivergent individual. She says it's a hot mess. Carrie, I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I'd like for you to elaborate more. Why is it a hot mess? Is it due to masking? Is it due to quirks, or is it due to trauma? I just like to know. Oh, Leilani, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've been working hard to get all these new graphics in, and getting organized part is difficult because all I want to do is just hop on here. Yeah, we got some new graphics. I'm excited. Savannah, love you too. Thank you so much. I appreciate the attention. Married to a fellow ADHDer, both diagnosed later in life, 39 and 48. Struggle with a capital S, capital T, capital R, capital U, capital W, double G, L-E. Yeah, it's a struggle. But Jennifer, I will tell you this thing. He or she, whoever you're married to, they do understand you. Because you would think, because they have their own version of their struggle. Jazzy says, married to the most wonderful man who tries so hard every day to support me and understand me. Yeah, love the show for that. I think that's amazing. All you can do is try. A mixture of everything. Okay, the good and the bad. As if I'm trying constantly, but failing no matter how much I try. All right, okay, so Lisa, you're failing what your dating life, but Why? Like, let's get to the bottom of this. Uh, what do you mean you can't see me? I know it's a little bit dark. We gotta work on the lighting here, but yeah, we'll have to work on that. What's a relationship? Ashley, has it been a while? You never know. Your person could be on this live stream right now. Holly says, I've been in 2 toxic marriages. It is a hot mess. Both have been struggles and in the end abusive. Ended up in the psych ward twice. Holly, very, very sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. And people don't understand that relationship stress can be a contributing factor to there's, and I'm not saying for everybody or everybody who's neurodivergent, but relationship stress, especially for my individuals out there who live with bipolar disorder, sometimes it's the stress of a relationship can cause a manic episode and potentially a psychotic break. It could lead to a trip to the psych hospital. I'm very sorry that this was your experience, and I'm sorry that it was abusive. And moving forward, as you're able to pick up the pieces and recognize the patterns, uh, I hope you get a little bit better at spotting out like where the early signs of a toxic situation, so that way when you see it, you can just pivot to the right or left. But very, very sorry to hear that. Let me see. Jennifer says, that's the crazy thing. We do both see what we're going through. I have to get out of my own head to have more compassion for him. And Jennifer, you have to give yourself credit. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship or a perfect marriage, right? But when you're in the situation, like that's really all that you see. Sharon says, hard to relate to non-ADD, difficult to translate the ins and outs of ADD, especially when unmasked. It's very isolating. It is isolating when you're unmasking. So that's why you have to be so kind to yourself. You got to be so kind to yourself. Myself, my boyfriend have ADHD. Communication is the key to me. I agree. My main focus is my kid. Plus, I would have to go out and socialize with other people. All right, so actually, you're completely correct. There's a lot of people out there who they want, a romantic relationship. They want to find somebody, but they know that it takes some effort. You got to go outside, right? Or you have to be on the apps. The apps are something else, but you got to go outside. You got to connect with people. Do you have the energy to do that? Lisa says, with my ADHD, I didn't read properly. I'm happily married. Oh, failing in all aspects of life, not dating. Oh, okay, all right. So Lisa, we took care of the dating part. That's good. That is good. That is good. Let me see. And Kendall says she's about to go through a breakup. Very sorry to hear that, Kendall. I'm just so exhausted all the time from that is the ADHD struggle right there. I feel like people bias my anxious personality before they get to know me. How do I get past the first impression issue? I wouldn't even put any effort into doing that, honestly, Savannah. I wouldn't. You meet somebody for the first time, let's say after you cut the tape on mentally in your head. You're like, okay, that was my best social work. I was kind of awkward, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you were awkward. Maybe you did trip over your words. Maybe you did something that you felt was weird. Oh well, that you can't change the past. It is what it is. Next time you meet him, hey, maybe you're more with it. Maybe you're smoother. Whatever the case may be, putting less effort into their opinions of you is an attractive thing for anybody, right? Like you just care less. Of course, there's certain social rules and guidelines that we have to abide by, that we have to take from the neurotypicals, but I wouldn't get so hell bent into thinking about how they perceive you to be. Kobe, what's going on, my guy? How you doing? Being kind to myself. Ooh, no, this is very difficult. We all struggle with this. I definitely struggle with it. And this is when you need those constant reminders, the affirmations, the things you say to yourself in the morning. Just an update. Years after the last one, I found a guy who's actually sympathetic and goes out of his way to understand my neurodivergence. Like, we'll go out together and he knows I need some alone time afterward to recharge instead of holding my downfalls against me. That gives a love of the show. That's so dope right there. Because I personally have been in a lot of situations where I've been having fights and arguments, all because I just wanted some time to myself, right? If you're neurodivergent and you're watching this, you know that you're gonna need some time to yourself in or out of a relationship. It's just it's how it is. Savannah, thank you so much. Anytime, you got this. The single parent life can be hard, especially when you're thinking of not only bringing someone into your life, but your child's life as well. Right. So, look, if you're dating as a single parent, especially if you're neurodivergent, I always exercise caution. Like, take some time. Don't just meet somebody off a hinge and then you bring them into your home, you bring them, to your child's sporting events. Take some time. Be very, very like, you have time. Not a lot of time, but you have time. Do not rush this part because it's not just you, but it's also your child or your kids if it's multiple kids. And if you're neurodivergent, sometimes you have to be honest with yourself and realize that I'm not the best at picking up signs of, people who don't have my best interests in mind. So let me just pause. When we slow down the game, things become clearer to us, right? So pattern recognition, pausing, especially if you have kids, pause, take your time, take your time, take your time. Carrie Lee, I appreciate you. You got this. So Kobe, I don't understand why the notifications don't go out. I will keep talking to the people at Facebook. It's something we've had this issue for almost a year now. Not quite a year, but almost a year. So I'm not sure what it is, but we'll work on that. We'll work on that. Hop says, I found my boyfriend before I knew I had ADHD. We both have it. I think we can find each other. All right, hold up. Is this laptop gonna die? All right, chat. So should I chance it, or should I go get the charger for the laptop? I should probably go get the charger for the laptop. All right. So what's the background image that I can put on the live stream? We can figure this out right now. I don't know. People say, get the charger, get the cord, charger, get the cord, get the charger on water break. All right, okay, I do got some water. Get the charger. Yeah, Kobe, you're right. All right, let me go get the Mickey Picky charger. Don't trust it. All right. Say less. Let me go get this charger. One second. Get this Mickey Picky charger. Oh, Mickey Picky. Oh, there we go. I thought I didn't have the charger. I was almost toast. This charger right here. All right, there we go. I gotta work on this setup. I gotta get a little bit better. There we go. Somebody from TikTok said my husband is going to his first appointment tomorrow for anxiety, PTSD. He's so nervous. Erica, he's gonna do good. Just the fact that he's showing up, I'm proud of him, Erica. Erica on TikTok said that. Just the fact that he's showing up that's all you gotta see. Okay, all right, I found it. Live streaming will Spunky Red, you're right, but I should have had the charger on hand. Unfortunately, I got it. All right, so let me see. Trish said, my husband is having Trish, very sorry to hear that. All right, so I didn't want to leave that comment up there for too long because this is a public forum and anybody can see these things. Trish, very sorry to hear that. When you're talking about cheating, and it's not really, well, for some it's the physical act too, but just comprehending the fact, or trying to comprehend how somebody who you have, given your whole world to, could betray you like that. It's a very difficult and painful thing. It's not something that you get over in a day, a week. Sometimes it takes years to get over it. So be kind to yourself. This is when you have to really lean into being kind to yourself and the people who are around you. You're going to need their help to help bring things in, bring things, help you remind you of who you were before the relationship. And also, if you choose to take somebody back after cheating, whatever transpired prior to you taking them back should be water under the bridge. But if you want to leave, you have every right to leave. Just want to say that. We talked about cheating a little bit before, but we haven't talked about it a lot. Erica from TikTok said he knows he needs to help, but he thinks that they're going to think he's crazy. So look, when y'all go into an appointment for your mental health, you don't have to worry about what we think. Like, you're here for help. So I wouldn't worry about what the doctor thinks or whatever. You're here to get help. You're here to change your life. And we've seen any and everything. So you should come and give yourself credit for just showing up for the appointment. Trish says she's done. All right, Trish, if you're done, you got a lot of people that love and care for you and support you. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. And this is when you really need to be kind to yourself. And if you're okay with moving past the relationship, we stand with you. All right, y'all, we didn't do a water break, and it's at 36 minutes. So I'm waiting for the magic word, and then we'll do a water break. And yes, you got to be honest at these appointments, right? Or you won't get the help that you need. It is hard to be honest, though. So, you got to be kind to yourself with that one, too. Oh, we got a magic word in here. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Big cheers, y'all. On TikTok, folks, big cheers. Ooh. Now, water gets you back right. And I see some comments about PMDD. I want to keep things on topic, but I will say that with PMDD, there is a relationship between ADHD and, a higher likelihood of having PMDD. I posted, well, it's been a while. Actually, it's been a while since I made a video about PMDD, so I probably do need to bring that topic back. Oh, who mentioned that? Kimberly, you're right. It is scary, and it's not just PMS. It's severe mood swings and sometimes suicidal ideation. So PMDD is no joke. I will make more content about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Ooh. It was just me trying to take a risk and thinking I can make it. Where can I learn skills for emotional regulation? There's so much more to ADHD than just organization. And most of what I can find is related to that. When emotional dysregulation is what impacts my relationship the most. Ooh, Nicole. Nicole, what a Mickey Ficky topic. This is facts right here, right? People understand that when it comes to ADHD, it's not just the attention, it's regulating your emotions. You have to be able to keep your emotions in check, so that way you don't impulsively do something that you regret after the fact. You impulsively broke up with somebody, you're like, dang it, I didn't mean to do that. You impulsively maybe cheated. I mean, I'm not putting this on you, Nicole. I'm just saying you made a emotional blunder. Maybe you said something. You said some words that you didn't mean, that you can't take back, and now the person that you love has heard those words, right? Being able to regulate your emotions is a life skill that, for those of us with ADHD, we have to work twice as hard at. You're in the workplace, you can't regulate your emotions. You might say something, it could cost you your job. It's a very important life skill. We don't talk about that enough, and I'm happy that you're bringing this to light, because it will impact your relationship. the current relationship that you're in, and for the people who are single, it could impact your ability to create a strong relationship or find your person. Mickey Ficky. Emily asked her OBGYN about PMDD and got help was life changing. So, Emily, your comment, I think it speaks for itself. So, if you can relate to Emily, please ask your OB. Because when it comes to PMDD, OBs, they definitely they help out. They prescribe, some of the oral contraceptives. I don't do that, but we know that could be helpful for PMDD. Oh, Kimberly, you're good. Look, it got the conversation going. And my live streams, we're always going to go a little bit off the topic and come back, right? Like, this is an ADHD live stream. Like, we're going to, we're going to be up, down, left, and right. We're going to get back on track, though. Vicky. Night number 2, the father of my child and I've separated, and it's the hardest pain physically, emotionally, mentally. Feel so worthless, watched him pack and leave, just choosing himself over our family. So listen, I will say this. I personally don't understand how a man can leave his family and his kids, but at the same time, I cannot speak for every man, right? I have strong feelings about that. But then again, I don't know his situation. I don't know his traumas, his triggers, and what he's going through. But if somebody has chosen to leave, and you can't control other people's actions, it's going to be painful. But I hope that you kick things into overdrive when it comes to your self-care and things that you have to do for your kids. But it's painful, like you said, watching somebody that you love leave a family. I'm not sure what I can say about that. Anytime I see like a patient come in and they have 2 parents, I always think to myself, this person is so blessed. I believe it takes 2 to bring a child up, probably even more than that, like a whole family, a village. But yeah, my heart goes out to you. What leads to what? What do you mean? Let me see. So it might have been asked already, but what skills affected my mood or not the same dating is very hard. Any advice? Kobe, I got some advice for you. I do think, and if you want to hop back on the live stream, let me know, because I have the setup to where I could bring a person on. I can bring on 2 people. If you want to be on this live stream, let me know. But when it comes to dating, you have to put yourself first, right? So put your mood and your meds, put yourself first, and be able to know what you need. And then you have to be able to communicate that to the person that you're dating. Not all at once, not in the beginning, but as you start to, get locked in with them. Emotional regulation is a huge struggle. Trying to teach small humans and myself how to be a human is chaos. Amber, it's very difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's a big part of discipline too. I'm still learning how to do this. I'm still learning. And you use pattern recognition. You look back at past behaviors. You look at people who model the behaviors that you want to exhibit one day. And eventually we put the pieces together, right? But this is one of the things that we can actually get better at by just kind of pausing, taking our time, right? Once, like if we're feeling emotional and we're going really fast, your decision making is probably going to be impaired, right? You got to take your time. There's a lot of evidence behind ketamine. I'm looking at what Savannah said. My emotional dysregulation has been worked on by myself and my husband. I do all that I can do to regulate, especially counseling or even just going to bed earlier and by myself, which I don't like, to make sure I'm not going to be dysregulated the next day. And we communicate all the time. Sometimes too much, but helps us. Jazzy, this is perfect. And look, it's not going to be easy, right? But it has to be done, especially if you're married to somebody. You have a responsibility to them, and then vice versa. So being able to let them know how you feel, it's an advanced skill, but we take it for granted. Sometimes we're like, oh yeah, you should tell your Nah, it's really hard to communicate. All right, and so if you want to If you want to join the live stream, how we do last time? Oh yeah. I remember. Send an email. I got my email open. Send an email to me at info. Also for my people on TikTok, if you're watching on TikTok and you're not able to get my attention because I'm looking this way and that way, you can send an email to me at info@kodosarfo.com. I'll bring you on. I'll bring you on. Let's see what Alyssa says. Oh, Alyssa, I'm very sorry to hear that. Rest in peace to your nephew, and I'm happy that the videos have brought you, some comfort. Uh, Thank you to you from the bottom of my heart. Just you going forward and making that decision to not give up is huge. And look, grief is something that can throw your. If you're grieving and you feel like your emotions are all over the place, do not be too hard on yourself because grief is its own thing, and grief can be a years long journey. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to do everything all at once. You don't have to get over a situation that fast. Like give yourself time and space to get through these things. And my mom was a yeller, breaks my heart when for whatever reason I ended up yelling at my girls. I always apologize, but I feel like the damage is done. So, Amber, let me talk about this for a second. The insight that you have to understand that you are doing the thing that your parent did to you that you really hated, you have to have a lot of insight to be able to recognize that. So give yourself credit for that, number one. Number two, you're taking accountability. Anytime we make a change, normally accountability has to come before that. You have to say, oh, this is on me. I can do better. If you're not accountable, you will never make a change. So you have to give yourself a lot of credit because what you're working on here is generational. Like your mom did this to you, you're more than likely doing this to your girls, right? Don't beat yourself up. The fact that you put yourself on Fern Street means that you're on the path to making a big change. So I'm proud of you. I'm super proud of you. Renee found a mental health doctor virtual. Yeah, telehealth is the way to find a doctor who can help you prescribe meds, so on and so forth. Let me see if Kobe sent that email. All right. Let me send this. Okay. Got it. Signed. Other. Okay. Oh, Kobe, take your time. Take your time. Take your time, partner. Kristen, very, very sorry to hear that. Oh, so you lost your boyfriend last year due to your combined neurospiciness. I'm still struggling with not having someone constant. So I'm a little bit curious right there, Kristen. He didn't pass away. You just broke up, and you think that the reason why you all broke up is because of your neurodivergence, and you're struggling because you don't have someone constant. Like you need somebody around you, like physically. Are you talking about you need somebody for like emotional well-being, or like you need somebody for like a body double? Or I'm a little bit curious. I want to unpack this, right? Y'all hate that word. You go to a therapist and they want to unpack every single thing. It's not Christmas Eve. It's not Christmas. Why are we unpacking things? No, I want to unpack this right here. I want to unpack this because I want to unpack. I got a lot to say, but I definitely want to unpack it. Hey, congrats to the Niners. Congrats to the Niners. They were down and out. Brock Purdy, 17-point comeback. Hey, I have nothing to say but congrats to the Niners. I thought we were going to have an Eminem and Taylor Swift Super Bowl, but the Niners came back. Much respect to Brock Purdy and the boys in the Bay. I really like neurospiciness as a word. I like that as a word too. And I want to know what she meant by that. Elizabeth, look, we're going to have these days, right? When you have a day like this, not to get too off track, I still want to unpack that previous comment, but when you have a day like this, a day from hell, the best thing you can do is figure out how you can get to your bed. Get to your bed. Let's call it a day. All right, it's all good. I've done the best I can today. Let me go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow is going to be a brand new day. It's another opportunity to get it right. And I've had many of these days where I'm like, all right, this day is just not my day. It's not my day. We're going to shut it down and try again tomorrow. I think it comes from the mild label, and it's always. Well, Lex, I like that. I like that. All right, so Kristen says, I got diagnosed with bipolar and BPD, CPTSD, and then PMDD, ADHD, all within a year of being together. Okay. I see what you're talking about. So you were diagnosed with all these things, and it had a toll on your relationship. Mm. And I can see that, especially if, let's say you're struggling with depression and or mania, and you're not sure what it is. It could be, it's not difficult to see how your boyfriend might check out, or, with the borderline, the mood swings up and down, because with borderline, you really have an impaired relationship with yourself, and that's reflected in how you deal with other people. And in the PMDD, look, you can just take the PMDD by itself, and that one condition can make your life a living hell. It can make it really difficult to date. It can make it difficult for you to like yourself, if you're being honest. So you have to understand, Kristen, you've been going through a lot. Like, this is not anything simple. Like, a lot was put on you in 1 year, and it's going to put a strain on your relationship. So maybe that is why you all broke up. But I don't want you to use that as a reason to hate yourself, because once you find a way to manage yourself and a way to love yourself, there's still a lot of hope for you to have a good love life. A lot of times people will say that they have borderline and they're like, oh, there's no hope for me. No, there's hope for you. There's hope for you. There's hope for you. I promise. Amber says, how the fluck. I like that. I've never seen that word before. Fluck. Okay, so that's your version of Mickey Vicky. How the fluck do we fix that impaired relationship with self, though? Amber, I'll tell you, this is how we do it. And it's so important to fix the relationship with yourself, because until you do this, it's going to be hard for somebody to come in, if we're talking about relationships, somebody to come in and to love you up here. If you love yourself this much, for somebody to come in and love you up here, more than likely, if you love yourself right here, somebody comes in and they love you here, you have to question whether they're love bombing you. Like, what do they want from you when they treat you so amazingly and you don't like yourself, right? So fixing that relationship with yourself is a deep thing. It looks different for men and for women. A lot of times conventional therapy it's not as effective for men, because with men, we take pride in like what we can provide, how useful we are. Everything revolves around some sort of productivity. With women, it's more so, how do I feel about myself, which is really important. How do you feel about yourself, Amber? You should be your own biggest fan. Because Amber, look, you have to be around Amber Cruz all the time. Like, Amber, I think you say you live in Wichita. I'm not sure. Let's say I'm in Wichita. I see you, Amber. Oh, I get to be around you for 5 minutes. Hey, how are you doing? Amber, you have to be with yourself 24/7. So the person that you should love the most in the world should be yourself. So Amber, if you look in the mirror and you see that your hair is curly, oh, I like my hair. My hair is curly. My hair is really nice. If you can sing really good, oh, I got a really good singing voice. Oh, wow, I'm a good mom. Like, you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. It's a daily thing. You can't take a day off, right? And it shouldn't be like all this big work. No, like, every day we do affirmations. I put reminders in my phone that, helps me remind myself of the person that I am. But Amber, you're going to be with yourself all the time. So you've got to like the person that you are. Not negotiable. You have to like the person that you are. I got to pause on that, because Amber, I need you to really understand that. Amber Cruz should be Amber Cruz's #1 biggest fan. Kristen says, a lot more hypomania than depression, but PMDD has an ungodly toll on me day to day. And Kristen, this is a very honest comment. So a lot of times people will ask me questions like, oh, how does PMDD affect a relationship or something like that? Who out there only has PMDD? Think about that. All right? Like, if you have PMDD on this live stream, is that all you have? You may have some trauma, may have some ADHD. It's never just that one thing. So things are complex. Humans are complex. So you have to give yourself some space to be kind to yourself because you're up against a lot. But as you get better, right? Let's say this is what you're up against right here. Oh, you'll become so much better. One day you'll be like, oh, I got this. I got this. It's still going to affect your life, but you will know how to navigate around it. So it won't feel like you have such an uphill battle all the time, right? Shantae, I love watching your videos as a neurospicy person. I like that term. I really appreciate your videos. Having autism, ADHD can be a lot. Shantae, look, it can be a lot. It's probably going to be a lot. It's something that's going to affect your life every day, every moment. But when you understand that you have these conditions and they don't have you, it makes the game a lot easier. You have ADHD, you have autism. It doesn't have you. It's a very important distinction, right? Nothing has you. Nobody has you. No condition has you. You're just an individual who happens to have these things. It's a part of your journey here on this earth. And we will navigate through these things as we do with everything else, right? And you will be fine, Shantae. You got to tell yourself that. You will be fine. I will be fine. Kristen says, I get 3 to 5 good days a month, and that's not enough time to put everything back together. No, it's not. It's not. And when you look, Kristen, when you say that you have 3 to 5 good days a month, I don't disagree with you. You probably are right. In terms of a good day where nothing is bothering you even remotely. Cool. We'll work with those 3 to 5 good days next month. Let's aim for 5 to 7 good days. Let's aim for 7 to 9 the next month. Maybe we just get to 9 good days a month. But if I could tell you that next month you have 9 good days, you'd probably be leaping for joy right now, right? So it can get better now. It can get better now. Let me see. How do you feel better after being hurt and damaged without rushing into dating because they compliment you and assure you it wasn't you? All right. So let me see what Joey said. Oh, and the person on TikTok who wanted to discuss grief, we will have a live stream where we talk about grief specifically. Don't worry. But we talk about grief and anything and everything. You know, we mix it up. We mix it up here and there. Joey says, your videos have helped me so much, man. Just wanted to let you know I appreciate it for that. Joey, if you're watching this, I appreciate you, my guy. I see you there on TikTok. Thank you so much, man. And to address Trish's comment, how do you feel better after being hurt and damaged without rushing into dating? So this is one of the biggest misconceptions with dating. And look, there's a lot of sides to this. People will say, oh, you can't love somebody until you love yourself. And then the other side of that is, no, like, if you feel good, go back out there and go date, go find. This is what Dr. Kojo has to say. As Trish, you just told me that you're dealing with infidelity. You're trying to put your life back together. You caught somebody cheating. Now is not the time to date, respectfully. It's not the time to date. You know why? And not just even your situation. Anybody who's gone through a lot of trauma, if you've gone through a situation that's tanked your self-esteem, you do not need to be dating. I mean, you can if you want, right? Or maybe like, hookups or, like no shame in any of that, like I've been there, done that. Like I'm not any better than any of you all. But whenever your self-esteem is in the gutter, right? If your self-esteem is at like a 2 and somebody comes along and they're giving you like 4 or 5 treatment, you're going to think it's the best thing in the world. Like, oh, this is the best person in the world. Well, they're doing below the minimum. And as you start to heal and as you start to love yourself more, once you get to like a 10, when your self-love is at a 10, the same person who came in and they were giving you a 4 or 5, you're not going to be able to be with them anymore because now your eyes are open. You're like, hold up. Like, I put a lot of effort into myself. I love myself. I do my affirmations. I go to therapy. I stay away from toxic people, toxic things. I am constantly working on myself. I love the person who I am. I love the person that I'm becoming. Why in the world would I accept a 4 or 5 from you? Now, when I was at a 2, when my self-esteem level was at a 2, I accepted your 4 or 5 because I thought it was like amazing. But now I love myself completely without judgment. So now I'm looking at the 4 or 5 that you're giving me. I'm like, this is not enough. I I gotta move on, right? But here's the issue: when you jump back into dating too fast, and you love yourself at a 2 out of 10, and somebody comes with that 4, 5, or 6, they may get you before you understand what's going on. You're already hooked into the situation. You've built that bond with that person. You can still leave, but do you want to leave? This person has become your everything, right? And that 5 or 6 is looking like a 10 because you look at yourself as a 2 out of a 10. I hope that makes sense. Joey on TikTok, I appreciate you, man. It's all love. I'm happy I can help out. But I hope that makes sense, Trish. I hope that makes sense. I'm trauma all my life. I've realized I'm better off as a single woman with a cat. Delia, do you really think that about yourself? I'm just curious. So you think that you're better off as a single woman with a cat? Delia, Delia, maybe you are, but maybe there's somebody out there who is compatible with you, who is looking for somebody just like you, but they live in Broward County in Florida and you're in Idaho. I mean, I don't know, right? Maybe you're happier, maybe you're at peace with just a cat. Maybe being a cat lady is not a bad thing, right? But I don't want you to write yourself off so quickly. You never know who's out there looking for somebody just like you, right? Hookups. Hey, look, Trish, here's the thing about like the internet. You'll have somebody who come out and say, hookup culture is trash. If you participate in hookup culture, you don't respect yourself. You don't like yourself. Okay, cool. Then you have another side that will say, oh, yeah, go out there. Yeah, like freak on everybody. Yeah. I don't like either side because it's somebody telling you, what do you want to do? My only thing, if you're doing the hookup thing, like be safe, use protection, to take care of yourself, I'm not going to demonize that. But when you're coming from a place where you're not right within, and like you're hooking up with a lot of people, it's a form of self-harm, right? And you have to put this aside from like the polyamory thing. Sometimes people are like, oh no, polyamory is different. That's planned, that's premeditated, that's different. Just hooking up, and when you're hurt, it could be helpful to just take a step back. Let's say you come back and you're healed and you want to do that. Sure, okay. You kind of know what's going on more, but just I want you to make sure that whatever you're doing, you feel like it's what you want to do, not what the internet told you to do, or not what I'm telling you to do. What feels right to you in that moment, all right? What feels right to you in that moment? How do you know you're healed enough to start dating? Well, good question, Robin. How do you know when you are healed enough to start dating? Well, for starters, I would say when your boundaries improve, that's a good sign. One of the things that you used to struggle saying no to, you'll easily tell somebody, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. That's a sign you're ready to get back out there. You can go now, you're ready to get back out there. When your desire for a healthy relationship is stronger than your desire to be with a particular person, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. You're ready to get back out there. You are ready to get back out there. You are ready to go. When you have no attachment to that former version of yourself or people from the past, sometimes people hop into a relationship, and I'll put myself out there too, because when I talk to y'all, I'm not talking as Dr. Kojo to y'all. Like, this is a group discussion, right? I've been in relationships where, I left one relationship and I was still hurting over that one, but I'm like, oh no, I like this girl. All right. It's not fair to that next girl. Like, I should have taken care of this, put it to rest, and move on, right? So when you feel more confident about you being detached from the past relationships and you feel like it's not bleeding into your current life, I would say that's a sign that you're healed enough to start dating. Good questions. Good questions. Josie, what was your question? What was your question? If the moderators don't catch it, I might not be able to get anything. So you got to help me out. Gotta help me out. And Carrie says, "Oh, you did the hookup thing to self-harm? It happens. Don't judge yourself. It is what it is. We'll move on. We'll move on." Kendra, one of our moderators, by the way, your 8 month. Wow, your kid got big kind of fast. Or is time just flying by? Time is flying by. Kristen, anytime. Oh, another water break. Oh yeah. We hit the 1 minute. Somebody dropping the magic word. We'll do another water break. I think being your own biggest cheerleader, remember to love yourself, is probably the hardest thing for me. I look in the mirror and just beg myself to be kind to me. I just had my first child in PCOS, as it was before, so my hormones are all over. Then postpartum, all with my everything else. So, Alyssa, the relationship that we have with ourselves is going to be the most important one, and it is hard to love yourself. It is hard, but whenever you do something that you really like, or whenever there's something about yourself that you're a big fan of, I would lean into that. Like, oh, I'm the best at making dresses. I'm the best at this. Like, really lean into that. Scream it from the mountaintops. Here is very shallow, off the apps a few years now. Some guys come up, hard to find anyone that's established in his 40s that wants a woman in her 40s. They can get 20-somethings and up. That's what Salty Ginger says. Well, Salty Ginger, there is some truth to that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that, that's not how men act. We know that that's in line with how a lot of men act, right? But you are still you. You are still you. And there's too many people on this planet for me to be like, oh, there's nobody out there potentially for you. I doubt. Cheers. Time for a water break again. Big cheers, y'all. Big cheers. I was asking about dating and resources after a new autistic diagnosis. I'm not different, but I am. Ooh, Josie. This is a good one. If you want to email me and hop on the live stream, you and anybody else is free to do so. But if not, we'll rock out either way. But what I will say, and Aaron, I'll get to your comment in a second. So you've just been diagnosed with autism, and you're looking for resources because you want to start dating. I can't think of any resources specifically, but what I will say is assess yourself. Just like when you're talking to an autistic kid and they can't pick up on social cues, and you're helping them out with, oh, this means that we're in danger. This means that we're safe. You do the same thing for adults. Assess your ability to pick up on toxic patterns, things that are for you, not for you. That would be number one. Because if you're autistic, the way you communicate is not in line with how a neurotypical person communicates. And until you know how the other person is, you probably assume that they're neurotypical, right? So you have to understand that your way of communication is probably different from the world's. So how well are you able to pick up on things that are for you, things that are not for you, right? And what are the things about yourself that you don't like? Because sometimes when you don't like a certain thing about yourself, you get out there to the open dating market, we tend to project, right? What are some things that we can work on, right? What are things that are the most important to you? When you get into a relationship, how much time should go by before you discuss your diagnosis with the person that you're talking to? These are all things that I would think about. If I have any books or resources that, specifically help with this issue, I will pass that along. But I would definitely say making sure that you're able to gauge what's good for you and what's not good for you. That's a priority. That should definitely be a priority. Okay, all right, okay. So I got Josie's question. Aaron is saying, is it possible to connect with people when everyone seems to get hung up on all the negatives, meltdowns, arguments, and impulsivity? I can let go of my negative feelings about all the things they did to contribute to my collapse because they had no awareness of autism, ADHD, PDA. These issues grew from my partner not understanding my needs and thus doing very harmful things to me. I'm now in the worst burnout of my life. I can't totally end this relationship. We are separated, but let me see what Aaron said. me see what the other part of Aaron has said. Aaron, so I didn't get the last part. I didn't get the last part, but if you're not able to end a relationship, sometimes you're in it because maybe you live with the person. Fully let that situation elapse, and a lot of times, especially you mentioned autism and ADHD. If that's the case, it's going to be very difficult to do this. But if you can do your best to understand that the other person on the other end, more than likely, a good part of the harm that they inflicted upon you probably was not intentional. Not now, some of it may have been. Now, if the person cheated on you with your best friend, that was probably intentional. I'm not going to make an excuse for that. But understand that the person on the other end may not have known what your needs were, and as a result may have done things that really hurt you. So I'll say you got to forgive yourself first. If you can forgive them, cool. And that forgiveness that you're giving them is really for you. But being able to fully work through this situation will help you in the next relationship, Aaron. So that way you can speak up for yourself a little bit better. So that way the next time you enter a relationship from the jump, Aaron, from the jump, you're able to tell the person what you need, the things that don't work with you. You can tell your girl, hey, don't tell me to do 11 million things at one time because it's going to make me freak out. I saw you mentioned PDA on there, right? Oh, the last part of the comment. Holly, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I did not get the last part of Aaron's comment. And Red says, that's too much to read. Red, maybe it is too much to read, but I can go through it. The last part of the comment, you're separated, but you have children. I used to be good. I used to be able to function. The autism community seems to be very accepting and supportive of self-diagnosis for adults due to the huge number of barriers we face in accessing appropriate health care. So, Aaron, I will say this. I definitely do think that self-diagnosis is valid. I always say if you're able to, just run it by a healthcare professional so we can confirm the diagnosis. That would make me feel better. But the country that we live in, I'm in the States, right? But the world that we live in, we can just say the world, being able to access, the necessary healthcare resources is unfortunately a privilege that a lot of people don't have. There's so many barriers to care, and because of that, it could be hard for you to get that diagnosis. So if you feel like you've watched videos online or you've done your research, right, and you can really align with a certain diagnosis, you feel like, this diagnosis best explains my behaviors. There's nothing wrong with a self-diagnosis, and I see it as this person's way of identifying with something that best explains their behaviors until they can get the official confirmation, right? It's 9 p.m. in Alaska. I'm working in my house. I'm in Texas right now. What is it? Oh, is it really 12 in Texas? My computer goes off California time, so it's 10 o'clock in California. But yeah, I know it's kind of late for folks. Tomorrow's live stream will not be late. It will be at 6 p.m. California time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Lex says, I haven't slept, so you're not wrong. That's what's up. And let me see. Aaron says, I have been turned away so many times. Each time is harder. Financially, it's okay, but I can't talk and I can't find an advocate. I can't find anything. All right, so Aaron, I'm a little bit confused. You've been turned away many times from your ex-partner. Were you trying to get back with her? Or I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I was in Austin earlier today. I've been traveling around Texas. I have to go check out some Buc-ee's too. I've been recording my CBS videos out here. I did the last two in Dallas. And also I'm going to be spending a bit more time outside of LA because I just stayed in LA all of last year. And I needed to shake out of my funk. and it was making it hard for me to stay sober. LA is still home, but I had to switch my routine a little bit. I definitely needed to do that. Also, I'm going to try adding some of the things to look forward to myself. That sounds like a great idea to do intentionally. Yeah, look, Kendra, we have to have things. There's two back-to-back Kendras. We have to have things to look forward to, right? And a lot of times, whenever we're struggling, we just think to ourselves, "Oh, I'm just trying to get from Monday to Tuesday, from Tuesday to..." No, like it's not all about struggling. Life is meant to be lived where we're thriving, right? So having a couple of small things to look forward to can be very helpful. I do like when it's late. Me too. I like when it's late too. Amber says, I hope to get diagnosed one day and be able to afford treatment. Thankful to people like you get my free therapy. So, Amber, look, Amber, we can't call it free therapy, right? We can't call it free therapy. I think it's therapeutic, but we can't call it free therapy. They'll be like, oh, that's outside your scope. But this is definitely therapeutic, I think. It's giving people an environment. It's giving people community. I definitely think this is therapeutic. And that's a big question mark with the American healthcare system. I don't like the American healthcare system. I just don't. I don't know if it's better out there in the UK or wherever else people are at. I just don't like it. But I'm happy that I get to help, and if I can find a way to, I don't know. I don't understand healthcare too much. I prefer making my money through social media and entertainment. But I would love to find a way. We'll see if I make, because I do have. I realized that for myself last year. Last year when I was struggling with my sobriety, I realized that I cannot be too bored. Not bored. I'm never bored. I cannot have too much free time, but I can't be overwhelmed. That's a struggle that a lot of us with ADHD have. We cannot be there with nothing to do, but we can't be overwhelmed. But when we have nothing to do, we put things on our plate because we know that how we are when we have nothing to do, and it's not good. But then you tend to get overwhelmed. So I'm trying to figure I'm trying to work that out. I forgot y'all sent emails. Okay, all right. Kobe sent an email too. All right, okay. So real quick, let me go through some of this, and then I'll bring people on the stream. No, so Holly, anytime I'm outside of California, I always think that I'm in California because I keep all my times PST. So Aaron said from healthcare professionals. You got turned away. Aaron, go back to what I was saying. The system is really bad. It's bad, and I'm looking for the solution as well. Salty Ginger says, so crazy to find a man, not like actively looking, but there's hope. Salty Ginger, look, there's always hope. There's always hope. I just don't believe that there's nobody out there for somebody. I just can't believe that. I can't believe that. Andrea says you rank. No, I didn't. Kobe should. All right, no, that's on me. That's on me. Let me bring Kobe. Oh, he said this at 11:58. All right, let's bring Kobe in here and talk about Kobe's. Let me see. Relationship challenges. Let's get Kobe in here. Red Diamond says, yeah, again, I hate waiting. Yeah, waiting is cap. It's cap. I miss Cali. Haven't been there. Rest in peace to your grandpa, Ashley. Nicola, where are you checking in from? Now you're saying morning. It is the little things that make life worth living. I definitely agree. Let me see. I just got dinner cooked and it's 10:23 here. All right, Southern California. Yeah, so there's a lot of California people on right now, and a couple of East Coast people. I feel like most meetup groups that are active here are just female-dominated. Okay. Salty Ginger. I will say this. And I've noticed this about my community. And look, I know the numbers. I know the numbers of the people who follow me. It's primarily women, like 77% women that follow me. Another 23% are men. Kobe, I'll add you in a second. But yeah, there's not a lot of men in my stream, so I do acknowledge that. This would probably be, if we're doing Find Your Love, like I'm going to bring Kobe in here. This will benefit Kobe more than it would benefit the person that Kobe's looking for if Kobe's interested in women, because there's a overabundance, a whole bunch of women here, not a lot of guys. And I'm doing my best to make mental health something that guys talk about. I do think that we talk about it more for men. Like male mental health is definitely, is increasing, but I hope to have more male followers. And Trish, I got you next after I got Kobe. All right, so we're gonna bring Kobe in here. So Gabriella says, so how long before letting go? All right, so Gabriella, I gotta bring Kobe in here, but Gabriella, if you want to come on the live stream, send an email to info@kojosarfo.com and I'll bring you on, because it looks like you been doing long distance for 2 years and you're about to let it go. That could be your husband. I don't know if you want to let it go, but somebody put my email up there, and let me bring Kobe in right now.
Oh, hey.
Kobe, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Sorry, I don't look the best. It's like 1:30 in the morning.
I can hear you now. It's 1:30 in West Virginia?
Yeah.
Hey, look, we love staying up late at night. I got the live stream going. Look at me.
Yeah,
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, but yeah, it's late here. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with not getting notifications at all when you're live. It's not working at all. I just happened to pop on. I was going to head to bed, and then I seen you were on. I was like, heck, I'm joining live.
Yeah, I have to fix that. I've reached out to the people at Facebook, but at the same time, sometimes the bugs might not be what they know how to fix, because it's more so with the reels and the short content. But I will bring it up again to them, because if people don't want to click the live stream, that's fine. But I have 800,000 people. I would like it if everybody had a chance to click the live stream if they wanted to participate.
Yeah.
And Gabriella, go ahead and send an email to just email me there. Kendra's one of our moderators, and I'll bring you on. Oh, we lost Kobe. Let me see. Lay down to bed early tonight. Proud of myself when I'm watching your live stream. Austin, nothing wrong with that. I need Kobe to come back on. Until he comes back on, I'm going to switch to this so my face doesn't look all weird. And Trish, that's on me. I'm learning how to do all this, but I'm excited. Like, I'm learning, because this right here and making the videos is the most fun part of all this. When it comes to checking emails and that stuff is very difficult for me. I struggle with all of that. So when it's just the live stream and then making the videos, it's amazing. Kobe, it kicked you out. Kobe, are you able to get back in? Video content assistant. I know what you mean. I brought on a whole bunch of Kobe is cute. Kobe got somebody. He got somebody. Kobe. Okay. Kobe, you got somebody. All right, Kobe, while you're trying, let me get actually, never mind. He's back on.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just went black. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened either, but all right, okay, we're back on. Cool. Oh, someone said the stream couldn't handle your magnificent. The beard is pretty nice too. I rock with the beard.
Oh goodness, the beard is out of hand. It needs some trimming.
Look, it's a good look, and look, we have to take all the compliments that we can get as men. We got to take all the compliments we can get.
Oh yeah. So what do you want to like talk about with like this, like how it like dating life has been with the mental illness I have?
Right. So you mentioned something about how it was difficult to manage your mood. Do you think that that gets in the way of you dating people? And then if so,
Yeah,
how does that make you feel?
it. Yeah, like my last girlfriend I had was like 3 years ago. It's been a while
Okay.
since I've been in a dating scene. Like like I go through mood shifts, obviously, because there is a part of bipolar in this with me. So, like, one
Hmm.
minute I can be like all cuddly and just want the person like near me all the time.
Right.
And then, like, next second, it's just like, I need space. I need you to get off me. I need you off. And
Mm.
it causes some problems because, it confuses them. They're like, well, you are inconsistent. And it's like, I get it and I understand and I apologize. It's just, I don't know how to control that.
Right.
So it's caused a lot of problems with dating. I'm 30, and like I said, I haven't dated since I was like 27.
Mm.
Because and I do live with my mom because of my mental health. Uh,
Respect.
and that's another issue. Most girls, and I do understand most girls they want. I feel like I'm not judging any girls, and I get it. But we live in a society now where we I think they try to put off, not girls, but men are raised that you should take care of the woman, and if you can't do that, you're
Right.
not dateable.
Right.
And I
Right.
never had a father growing up, so I feel like I have a lot of strikes against me because I don't know how to be the like a manly man, if that makes any
Hmm.
sense. My mom raised me; she's done well with me.
Right.
I can relate more to a woman's feelings than I can a man's feelings,
Right.
and, and that I feel like causes a little bit of trouble finding someone to connect with too, because they're just like, God, can't you fix the car? Don't you know how to do anything like this? And it's like, I'm
Hmm.
sorry.
And society's expectations is one thing, but like men, like we're not a monolith. Like there's so many different types of men, and I've also seen the videos as well where it's like, oh, if a guy can't do this for you, blah blah blah. Now there's nothing wrong with wanting a guy to step in and to provide. I don't think there's
Hmm.
anything wrong with that, but at the same time, women have to understand. People should understand that being a man by itself is very hard. The
Yeah.
expectations that are placed upon us is very, very difficult. And because everybody is in different, unique situations, there's somebody on the live stream who was saying that they're in their 40s and they're looking to date, but the men in their 40s want to date the women who are in their 20s. So I know that maybe for her, the guys in the 40s might not work for her, but there's too many people on this planet for somebody
Hmm.
to say I can't date, and it's all about finding that person who is compatible with you. And
Hmm.
I don't like when people disrespect like blue collar men or men who don't do like traditional or shiny jobs or where there's a whole lot of money
Hmm.
there. And I get it, money. Like I come from a very poor background. Like I know money is important, and you have to have some type of something, but I don't think that we can just write off a man because he's not where he needs to be, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So you probably will find somebody who is going to build with you. And this can be
Hmm.
challenging because I know I have a big female audience, but sometimes women don't like to build with men. And I cannot blame a lady. Let's say she's tried doing this with somebody else and it didn't work out for I can't blame a woman, but there's women out there that if they pour into a guy, he can fly and they can change both of their lives.
Yeah,
You know,
and
and
that's an issue I have noticed, or like especially around where I live. Like women do not want to get with a guy that they feel like they need help because I'm going to use this term. I don't know if it's a great term, but they've been burnt by men before, and they're scared to waste their energy.
right.
And I totally respect it. But my
Hmm.
thing is, and I want all women to realize it's not all men are going to do that to you. There is a lot of us that are genuinely kind that just need some support to get where we
Hmm.
want, and we're going to stick by you. We're not just going to use you to get where we want and then just be like, bye.
Right.
And but like I said, I do get the woman's mindset that have been burnt by that, and it would be hard to trust. But like I said, it is hard for me because, like I said, I feel like I have so many factors against me, and I do beat myself up for it, and I need to work on that because also a
Right.
woman wants a guy with a little bit of confidence. Not, I really don't have much. I ain't gonna lie. I look at myself and I'm just like, oh man, no
Now,
wonder I'm single.
so we have to address that right there. The confidence part is important, but even beyond that is how we feel about ourselves. The way
Mm-hmm.
we feel about ourselves is so important. So even Kobe, let's just pause on the relationship talk for a second. Let's just take women out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way you feel about yourself. I want you to look in the mirror and be like, I have an awesome beard. I'm a cool dude. Like, I love my mom. I take care of myself. I'm open. I'm honest. Those are cool attributes. So just off of
Yeah.
that, you're somebody who is worthy of love, attention, and respect. That that's it. And as you learn to love yourself more, it's going to be reflected in your interpersonal interactions with everybody else. So that's step one right there. That's step one. This
Yeah.
and look at all these compliments right here. Uh,
I see the
just
nice smile. Now I'm blushing. Oh boy. I am literally turning red on live stream. This is not good.
got you blush. Someone said the dating scene in West Virginia is setback as it is. Wait, I have a quick question. How is the dating scene out there in West Virginia? I don't know.
I'm not downing anyone with drug problem. I'm going to say
Respect.
it started out like this, but drug problem is a very bad issue here in West Virginia. So you like, I'm not saying you can't date someone with a drug problem. They are deserving of love too, very much.
Right.
But with my life and my situation, I don't want to get mixed up in a situation like that, if that makes any sense. By
Right.
the way, I'm
It
sorry
makes
if I'm
sense.
saying anything wrong. I'm not good with words, like I've said
Oh,
before.
no, it's not judgmental. It makes sense.
But there's a huge drug population here in West Virginia, so it's kind of like one of those when you start talking to someone, you're kind of like, you're like, okay.
That makes sense.
So it is, and the economy here is really bad. I think West Virginia is one of the lower end states for like wealth and everything.
I was not aware of that.
And so everyone's trying to date someone, I feel, up to get out, where
Okay.
and I don't feel like that's a success to a key relationship. I feel like that's trying to use someone to get out of your situation.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of problems here in West Virginia, I would say, with the dating, not only like with other things. Um, it's difficult here.
I see that, and I do believe when it comes to dating, I do believe that there's some science to it. Location does matter. Location does matter, but if you're in West Virginia for the moment, the most important thing, like for you, the most important thing is just believing in yourself and just the confidence. I do believe the woman will come, and like I said, I don't blame women who are like, oh, like will this guy be able to like support me in some way? Because when you enter into a relationship with somebody, people can do bad all by themselves. Like you should make their life better, if not financially,
Mm-hmm.
through emotional support, so on and so forth. But you have to highlight all of your positive traits, and you are upfront about your mental health journey. I don't want to call it a struggle; it's a journey. You're upfront about
Mm-hmm.
that, and
Yeah.
you're putting in the efforts to improve yourself. You're going to your doctor, you're going to your therapist. Now, if you were like not taking care of your mental health and like you're not, because everybody wants somebody who is putting effort into themselves. So as long
Yeah.
as you're doing that, you can't judge yourself. And it
Yeah.
has been a while since your last relationship. And also, I feel like with the economy, people are at times dating just for survival. So it does change. The dating landscape has changed just since last time you had a girlfriend. It's changed for sure.
Oh yeah. Like like I said, there's a lot of things I could definitely do to improve myself. One is my weight. I know y'all can't see this. I'm 5'6" and I think 255 pounds. So you get
Okay.
the gist of it. Definitely, I need to lose some weight. Um, and it would be better for my mental health and everything too. Uh,
That I like that angle because you acknowledge it, but it's better for you. Forget the woman for now. It's better for your health. I
mhm.
like that. Okay.
And like stuff like that. And I have noticed it, and it's stuff I have talked to with my doctor, and my doctor agrees. As I said in my last stream with you, I have a very supportive doctor finally, and I really am appreciative of that. But like I said, the back to the dating, I like I said, I feel like a lot of things that go against me, starting from a young age, that I need to work out. And I am slowly but surely. One of the other big things that is a major deal breaker, especially with females my age. I'm on the fence about having my own kids. I
Hmm.
just worry about having my own kids and the genetic possibility of my disorder going to them and seeing them struggle,
Mm-hmm.
and it bothers
Respect.
me. It bothers me, and I that was an issue with the last girlfriend. Really bad. She wanted to have kids, and I was like, I can't do that. I'm sorry, and it ended it, and it hurt because I was like, I was really
Respect.
happy, and
You were honest too.
yeah, and it like I said, it hurt, but it's something I'm not quite comfortable with. Like my
Mhm.
doctor has told me though, she's like, you do not know 100% that it's going to genetically go to your kids. It could pass,
Right. It's true.
and I'm like, but it's a risk that I don't think's worth it, because growing up, like I said in my last stream, it was very difficult for me to understand, and I wouldn't speak about it. So I am terrified if I would ever have kids that they'd be the same way, even though if I am I am their father, like that they wouldn't feel comfortable talking to me because they'd be afraid that I'm going to judge them or something, because that's how I felt, and it scares me, and I don't want anyone to go through what I went through, if that makes any sense.
No, I've heard that before, and I'm looking here in the chat. So many people are saying I have two children. My boy is diagnosed with autism, ADHD. Uh, it's a valid, it's a valid concern. It's a valid concern. I will say that you communicating your needs beforehand is a sign of strength and good insight, because now you won't waste a woman's time and she won't waste your time. And
Hmm.
especially once we get past 30, it's a waste of our time if you date somebody or you're getting serious with someone and you know that there's just no hope because you don't want kids and they want kids. So like
Yeah,
you're just wasting each other's time.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
okay.
but like I said, I and it
Oh,
might be also. Go
real
ahead.
quick. So I even forgot about the folks on TikTok. Uh, People saying you should do speed dating. Team Kobe, okay. And then Brandon says so you got a lot of people here. That's the power of the internet. The internet helps you remind yourself that maybe we're not as bad as we think we are sometimes. You
Yeah,
know. Okay. All right. I cut
yeah.
you off. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine.
Mhm.
But like there like when I say I don't want kids, I should rephrase that. There is a little bit of me that wants to have a kid.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I like the fear of passing the disorder off is
Mhm.
like it's extremely scary to me,
Yeah.
and I would feel like
Right.
I I did that to the kid, and I would never be. I don't feel like I'd ever be able to like forgive myself to watch them suffer, because like I said in my last stream, I can see my mom when she looks at me and she's just like, oh boy, and it hurts, and I don't think she does it on purpose. But it hurts her to see me struggle, and I don't. I don't know how to word that quite better than that, if that makes any sense.
No, it does make sense.
So there's that, and that is a major deal breaker with most females nowadays. And like I don't have a problem with that. Like I get that's most young girls' dream to grow up and be a mother. It's just that, and I don't have a problem with that. But I do now openly, like I said, I'm trying to be openly honest about it, because see, with that girlfriend, I was not. I hinted towards it when we got together, but I wasn't strict with it. I kind of like, I left the door open that it might change.
Okay.
And she thought it would after a year or two of dating, and I was like, no. And I got hurt by it. Yeah. So
and look, there's people out. So, what's up from Augusta, Georgia? What's up? What's up? And Kristen, I did send you and Trisha or whoever else. I sent y'all the link. But Kristen is saying, I'm right there with you, almost 30, and I don't want to be a mom. Kristen, hop on this stream. You got the link.
But like it is a real thing, and like I said, I totally understand that's most girls' dream growing up to be a mom. And I respect it. I 100% respect it. But right now with me, I'm not saying it wouldn't change one day if like I got 100% more comfortable with myself. That's where I need to be, though, I think, for that to change, and I've not reached that.
Okay.
I think with my diagnosis, I'm still about like a 70-80% comfortable in understanding it. Why are we in 3 boxes now?
I was trying to adjust it to bring on the third person, but how does this work? Are there any hold up. How does this work? Are there any StreamYard experts in the chat? Because I'm just messing it up.
You are like in 3 boxes, my man. Now you're all 3.
Mickey, what am I doing?
Oh man.
All right, this is embarrassing. But look, you have
But
to
you're
mess
giving
up.
me a good laugh.
This is crazy. Like I thought you could all right, never mind. This is crazy. I thought you could.
I think there's a way, but I don't know. I've never messed with the thing you're using, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that out.
Maybe when they join, they'll take their own box. I don't know.
Yeah, Charles, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think once they join, they'll take their own box. Dang it. All right, Kobe. So I thought I could bring on more than one person at a time, and I will figure out how to do that, because there's got to be a way to do that. But you have any last words, or where people can find you, if they can add you on Instagram or Facebook? Because a lot of women have seen this, so I want them to be able to know where they can get you.
If anybody wants to add me on Facebook, you're more than welcome. My name's on. I'll message here in a little bit in the chat, and
okay,
you can just add me through there. Just send me a message though, real quick, so I don't think you're a spam. Saying from Kojo's stream or something like that, because Facebook's getting really bad about spam counts again. It's getting crazy.
It's too much.
Yeah, they're all getting bad. I shouldn't just throw Facebook under the book. They're all getting bad.
Yeah, all of them. Facebook used to be better, but now it's getting. Yeah, it's a little dicey.
But yeah, if anyone wants to add me, I'm always open to talk to anybody. I'm a down to earth person, I like to think. Like I said, I do have mood swings, so if I am having a bad day and I just don't message or something like that, please do not get offended. I I I do have a disorder that causes me to be distant at times, and I apologize about that. Uh,
You ain't gotta apologize because
but
you've
yeah,
communicated.
but yeah, like I said, anybody can message me. Like I said, and add me on Facebook. I'll send a message here in a little bit after I get off this because I'll go back into the live.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you so much, Kobe. I'm gonna bring on the next person.
All right, thank you. All right,
All right.
bye.
Take care. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Bye.
All right. I'm bringing Trish real quick because what's up, Trish? How you doing?
This is not nerve-wracking at all. I give Kobe props.
Yeah, I never mentioned. I should have prefaced by saying that it can be a bit nerve wracking because a lot of people are watching. But yeah, you just hop right
It's
on
not
in.
terrible.
How are you doing?
Okay, so let's just do bullet points so that it doesn't drag out too long. I'm definitely ADHD.
Okay.
Woo. So 5.5 years ago, had first daughter, and like it sounds really weird. I don't know how to explain it, but like she changed me, like the way I would like think and the way I reacted to things. Like I didn't realize until I had Lucy, but like I was just a completely different person for the past 5.5 years, and I didn't know it. Like I didn't like the house wasn't taken care of well, but also he didn't help. And he didn't help with the kids, so I was like, drowning.
Sorry to hear
And then
that.
when I had Lucy, she like rewired me. Like I could think and like process things the way I could like say again, like I did before. And like I'm like trying to like take care of the house better. Also because I found you. So like now I'm in the back of my head. I'm always like,
Appreciate
what would Kojo do? Would Kojo say pick up that trash right now? Or would he say wait? Um and uh, she thinks we're on FaceTime with him. They
that.
just literally woke up at
Yeah,
two
it's on
o'clock in the morning.
FaceTime.
Um, so he like 3 months before we had Lucy, who's now 2 months, so like 5-ish months ago or six, um, kept like pushing, I want a divorce, I want a divorce, I want a divorce. Okay, so I finally relented. I'm like, all right, look, he's that desperate. Okay, fine, on these terms, whatever.
So you got the divorce.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not legally on paper, but like in every other way, yes.
Okay.
So then during this conversation, I confront him because we had like a brief separation, and he would always FaceTime and I would see these dogs, and I realized it was actually a person he was having the affair with, or is having the affair with. And he confirmed it, and it's actually, I found out it was not this past July, but July before that. It's been that long. And had I known it was that long, I would not have had this thing right here. So, because I wouldn't bring an innocent bystander into the mess.
Sorry to hear that. I do want to
It's
say
okay.
you have the child there. The child is a blessing, and that's a life.
I know. That's the
And
only good thing. I know.
the child has a mission. We never know what that child is going to do. So sometimes in the moment it's like but that child is going to go on and do incredible things. So
Well,
I just want to say that.
well, not just that, but she also like rewired me somehow, like realigned me. Like I am now back to like myself, like I was before Emma, the oldest. Like the
And
way I,
sometimes we just need a reminder, and that's what she's doing.
like it literally feels
And
like I was like in hindsight, it feels like I was in like a fog for like those years. But in the moment, obviously, it didn't feel like that. But in hindsight, it did.
right, and so just so we can get back on the same page in terms of finding somebody, are you looking for some? I want to hear you first, and then I'll give my thoughts and like what do my thoughts mean? But I'll get my thoughts after you.
Okay.
You know,
All right. So, hang on. Sophie, no, it's not. Go back to sleep.
wait,
They're like, Daddy,
hold up.
Daddy.
I think you said you're still legally married. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
In that case, because there's a marriage, then we'll just throw all that out because
No. Apparently, I already did the consult. That's apparently okay. That in Maryland, it has no effect on it. That he even did
you,
that. So it doesn't even matter that if I do something, it doesn't matter that he committed adultery. It has
okay.
no bearing on it.
No, because
How
you're still
absurd is
married.
that?
I just want to respect that. But
Yeah.
in terms of how you feel right now about yourself, how do you feel about yourself right now?
Like, Sophie, go back to sleep.
Like, have you forgiven yourself? That's the main thing I'm trying to get at. Have you forgiven yourself?
See, that's the thing. It's like hard because it's like on a certain level, I know it's not my fault, right? But then am I
Right.
like, is it because of like how the house technically was? But is that really justification to like ruin your entire family? Like, I don't know.
No, sometimes things don't work out, and not that it's neither person's fault, but sometimes a situation just doesn't work out, and it's best for both people to not judge themselves, regardless of what happened, because a divorce is one of the most shaking and jarring life events somebody can go through. And people who
Yeah.
don't know what that's like don't understand that you're literally tearing your life down and starting a whole brand new life. So when it comes to that,
It's
I
like
know
a
that
death. It really is. Worse than a death.
it is. I've had so many people tell me what you just told me. It's worse than a death. It's a form of grief that kind of never ends. It's a really, really difficult situation. So I
Right.
also want to make sure that both people are able to forgive themselves for whatever they felt like they didn't do or did do, and to be able to move on and still live their life. So I'm more
When it's not,
concerned
and
that
it comes
you
in like
forgive.
waves. Like one day I'll be like completely sound like, yeah, you know what? I'm worth it. Forget you, enjoy your life. I got this with the kids, whatever. But then the
Right.
next minute it's like when she posted a picture tonight at the Ravens game, I'm like, his family can see that. So now they are gonna know. And then they're gonna have their input on this. They're gonna like fish and they're gonna like be like, oh, who is that? Is that a girlfriend? Is that just a friend? They're gonna like, because they're also Italian, so they're like,
She jinxed the Ravens. We're not talking about how she jinxed the Ravens.
I mean, good because she likes them. But
Go Chiefs. Okay.
yeah, right? Exactly. And I mean, I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought. Hello, ADHD.
It's all good. And let me see. There's more folks who want to come on, but I want to get to Kristen. But
That's what I
before I
was
get
gonna
to
say.
Kristen,
Hang on. How long? That's what one thing I was gonna ask you though is
yeah.
how long is it gonna be? Because it's been since not this past July, but it's July before that. How long is it gonna be before they blow up like what he did to me? Because a narcissist doesn't change, right? He's narcissist, bipolar, PTSD, all that. Borderline alcoholic. So that doesn't people keep telling me it's not gonna change and he's gonna end up doing to her what he did to me.
So
Like like people keep saying I'm gonna move on and be happy, but he's not going to be.
So you have to understand that when these situations happen, people may tell you things to make you feel better about the situation or to make you feel better about yourself. You should feel good about yourself regardless. With him, without him, you're somebody who is worthy of love, attention, respect. That's the bare minimum. Now, with a narcissist, let's take out the bipolar part and the PTSD, because I don't want to conflate these things. So
Right. He doesn't treat anything with medicine anyways.
Okay, all right. So with a narcissist, and keep in mind, people who are narcissists are still human beings who are also worthy of love, attention, and respect, and we still have to give them that space. A narcissist is not going to change.
I tried for 6 years.
See, you tried being with them, but I mean, if you're arguing, the situation is different. it's been a situation and there's kids involved. Like, I'm not a big fan of people just leaving their families. Like, we'll work through these things. But a narcissist, without an inner desire for them to change, they more than likely will not change. That's why the way you deal with a narcissist is to wish them the best, but you do that from a distance. But like, I know it's different. It was different in your situation, but you wish them the best from a distance. They're over there. You're here. You want them to do well. You want them to have a life that they're proud of, a life where they're productive, a life where they're impacting people in a positive way. But for you to stay there and for you to wait for it to change, because here's the thing: if you are with a narcissist, by definition, if the person that you're with is a narcissist, by definition, you won't know that they're a narcissist until like after the fact, until like you're picking up the pieces. You're, oh wow, you won't know that you're being gaslit until like you get out of the situation. And you're like, oh, I didn't know all of these things were happening. So the best way, what this person does with the next woman is actually none of your business. But if they have a desire to change internally within them, that person can change and do better. But if they don't have that, more than likely the cycle of pain will be just shifted to the next person.
That's something I struggle with. That's one of the big emotional things I struggle with, because it's like, why wasn't I then good enough? Why did he not care enough to change for us?
Right. And hear me out. It's not a you thing, okay? Because you are good enough. That's the thing. You're more than good enough. And that's the tricky thing. Sometimes you feel like their actions are a direct reflection of who you are and what you're worth.
Because he's acting happy with her. So,
and look, the best thing that you can do. One of my mentors, a psychiatrist who's been divorced twice, he was telling me that after a divorce, because he was talking to me about marriage, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get married. But he was telling me that, hey, he's married, he's been married and divorced twice. And what the other person wants you to do, they want you to sit down and to be sad. Like, they want you to just sit there and just wither away. The best success, if anything, is you living your life to the best of your ability and just moving forward. And a lot of times people double back around and come back, but you're not going to be the same person. You're stronger now.
Yeah, and actually I've kind of semi done that. Like, I've like, now I dressed like for a mom for the past like 6 years. Okay, I did like the whole, like, I just like, I stayed home, so I was just like, comfortable clothes. Now recently I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm sorry. I have recently gotten like, more attractive clothes, and like I'm trying to like, I guess like self-care. Like, I'm trying to like make myself feel good about myself, so I want to look good.
That's it.
And I feel like it will trickle down with the kids and my whole life. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't.
That makes sense, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to wake up. You look. You got the kids who are watching you. This is very important, and you have a daughter as well, so she's watching you. She's done that. 3. Any boys or no?
No. That's also another reason why I feel like he left, because he kept saying it was my fault he never got his son. I'm like, really?
It doesn't matter why he left and what he said. We're not going to put a lot of stock into it. You got 3 girls who are watching you. This is very important, because now they're going to model their behaviors based off of what you do. And you don't know somebody until they're going through a hard time. You're going through a hard time right now. So the first thing you have to do is be kind to yourself.
And my patience is really short with them, and I feel bad about that.
And you shouldn't feel bad. If anything, don't feel bad. Just make small adjustments. You have to give yourself credit. You've been through a lot, all right? Trish, hear me out. You've been through a lot. So I want you to be kind to yourself every single day. Look in the mirror and say something that's going to make you feel better about yourself. And you said you're already getting the clothes and do all that stuff.
For the first time, I put like makeup on in like a while, except for like a wedding. That's the only time I would do it. So, and it makes me feel better.
Put all the makeup. I don't know what the term, the foundations and just put all the makeup and go out there and feel. I want you to feel 100% good about yourself. And as you do this, hear me out. As you do this, are you going to get more attention from males? Yes, you will. Do not jump into something too fast. Hear me out. At the same time, also with the kids, try your best. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be unnatural to do this, but try your best to not badmouth their father. I know I know. I know.
It is
I
so
know.
hard.
No, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. But as they get older and the smoke settles
It
and they
looks
see
better
what
on
happened,
me, and yeah, they'll see it for what it was, right?
not that it looks better on you. I mean, it does look better on you. But then once they get in that situation where maybe they're recovering from a breakup, they'll say, "Oh wow, mom went through all this, and she still was able to keep it G. She kept it respectful." And look, they will need their father in some capacity. Like that's a later thing to worry about. But when you
Daddy
make yourself,
issues, yeah.
don't need their father. You know, I don't like removing kids from their father. But when you make yourself
Hmm.
the best version of Trish, think of the best version of Trish right now in your head. That version is not going to allow anybody to come into your life and give the bare minimum because you think of yourself way up high. You see what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
want you to understand that you're going through a lot right now, but your situation is not impossible. And sometimes you may have to like on Instagram, you can IG, you can like mute a page or whatever. If
Right.
the person that you used to be with is with another girl, like that's what I do. Like if I love the girl in the past, I'm not gonna sit there and watch her photos with another guy and she's happy. I mean, I wish her the best, but like I'm gonna mute or unfollow or like because I have to live my life, and it's a silent version of it's you're torturing yourself in a way, like keeping up with them at the game, the Ravens game, or the Chiefs won anyway. You know?
Right. And I did that actually for a few days, and then I kept noticing that I did that. I actually blocked her on Facebook, and
Yeah,
because she
there
had the
you
nerve
go.
to try to add me, by the way. But anyway, so I noticed that she would comment on his post, but I would see like, okay, there's 3 comments in it, but it would only show 2. So I knew she commented. So I
Mm.
unblocked her and to look, and then that's when I noticed the picture.
And
So,
go ahead.
and I wouldn't care. It's because one picture she posted, no, he didn't allow it on his page. He blocked it.
Hmm.
This one today, because I was not in a great mood with him because he was out in public with her, he then took revenge and allowed her to post that picture.
Mm.
So he's petty and immature, but I am more so worried about the kids because he was so inactive. He would just he was a gamer and all these things that you already know. He was a gamer from sun up to sundown. And if the kids wanted attention, he'd snap at them for interrupting the game or like, ruining it. So they not only are dealing with all this change, but they also act out because they never got the attention from him. And then I had to be the mom and dad and the disciplinarian, and they'll call me bad mom and mean mom and all this. And I,
Look,
I don't know how to not make them realize that I'm not the bad guy.
right, and look, parents have to be parents, and kids have to be kids. Kids will have their own opinions, and they'll never see things from your perspective because they're just kids. So they're gonna just go off the first instinct how I feel. Their limbic system is not
On
fully
Emma,
developed.
Emma is ADHD. I just got her on Adderall and guaifenesin, whatever that is. Guaifenesin.
Guanfacine. Well,
There we
look, she
go.
has
That thing.
ADHD, so that frontal lobe, like, it's not like with
And it makes
anybody
it
who
hard
has
because,
ADHD.
just like Kobe said, it's really hard. You don't want a kid that has the same issues as you because guess what? I snap at her all the time, but it's not her fault. It's not my fault. I'm frustrated because she's very difficult. She's difficult because she has ADHD. Like, but how do you like remedy that? Like, how do you like a 5-year-old that has ADHD? Like,
Look, it's gonna be difficult because she's a kid and she has ADHD. But even without the ADHD, she's a kid. Her frontal lobe is not fully developed, so she's just gonna think, do. Kids think, do. I think, I do. Go off of emotion. So she's not able to reason as well as you can reason. So you have to let the kids be the kids. But whatever rules you put in place, those are rules because you're the parent. But I want you, right now, the more selfish you are, sounds backwards being a mom, but the more selfish you are and the more you prioritize your needs, you'll be a better parent and you'll focus less on like the external factors. So in fact, I have homework for you before oh, there's more people on the stream. So I gotta get to the next
okay,
person, but I have homework for you. The next stream, I want you to type in the comment section 3 things that you like about yourself.
okay.
Because now
Real
we're
quick.
not gonna,
How do you discipline
okay,
someone
go
with ADHD? How do you discipline someone with ADHD?
you find out how to speak to them in their language, and then you work off of that. If she loves
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog, hey, you're not gonna get to play Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
If you have to figure out, because without her meds, she can still do almost as well if she's interested in something, if there's a consequence, if there's a
Yeah.
deadline. So working with the child to figure out what their language is going to be helpful. But at the
Okay.
same time, parents got to be parents and kids got to be kids.
Right. And it's you said 3 things I like about myself. Is that what the homework is?
Yeah, that's the homework. 3 things you
Okay.
like about yourself.
Okay.
For
Okay.
you, we're not going to find love. We're just going to lean deep into self-love. I want you to focus on becoming the woman of your dreams instead of finding the man of your dreams, and everything else will fall into place. Q baby, by the
That
way.
is the one that saved my life. Literally, she got me back to feeling like me again. So yay, go Lucy. All right, I'll let
Go
you go. I
Lucy.
know people are, we're all about Kojo. Yes, so we want our Kojo time. So I'll let you get on to the next person.
All right. Thank you for your time, Trish. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. So we're going to bring, I hate this. Doesn't look good. We're going to bring Kristen in, and then we got James on deck. Kristen, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm in the middle of hypomania, so it's a good time.
Oh, so you're in the middle of hypomania right now. Is that why you're awake?
Yes, it's 1:14 where I'm at, so
1:14. Okay, so you feel really good about yourself right now for your hypomania is going on? Your
yeah, I'm
confidence is pretty high?
more confident and outgoing, I would say.
Okay. And look, hypomania, it happens as long as you're able to figure out how to be safe and how to minimize the consequences of whatever, could be maladaptive. I think we'll be okay.
I think so, yeah. I just took an antipsychotic, so hopefully that'll squash that mood a little bit, as my provider tells me. So
Look, medications, I know everybody is not, some people don't like meds, but meds do, like, they do so much good, especially when it comes to hypomania and keeping you safe. Because the thing is, we want you to feel good about yourself. Like, if I could take the confidence that's in mania, I'm talking about a full-blown. So if I could take that confidence and give it to everybody on this live stream on TikTok, on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, I would do it. If I could just take just the confidence part,
Oh yeah, so I'm a phlebotomist, and when I'm hypomanic and I'm at work, nothing, I can stick any vein with the utmost confidence. I love it,
Any vein, even the ones that roll?
Oh, I love rolly veins. I love deep veins. I love the top veins. I love the just the little bitty ones that need a lot of pressure and a lot of heat. I love my job. I've been doing it for 7+ years.
So you're like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations. That's good.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, so I was gonna say, I almost feel like I was masking for a long time because in 2021, it seems like my life just kind of fell apart. And suddenly all of a sudden I was going through crying spells and spells where I couldn't sleep, and I had high energy and mass amounts of spending,
Oh, was that when you first got diagnosed?
In 2021, yeah. So in 2013 I was in the Guard, actually, and I saw the psychologist, and he said that there was a chance that I had bipolar 2. So he sent me to get diagnosed by someone else, and she dismissed it completely and said it was complex PTSD.
Mickey Ficky.
Yeah, so that was 2013. So then I stopped seeing her completely because, it's complex PTSD. She can't medicate me for it. And then in 2018, I went in for a psychological evaluation, and there was no conversation about bipolar. My counselor at the time focused on my, quote, narcissistic and nepotistic traits.
Okay. I'm happy you eventually got the right help, because bipolar 2 is the hardest condition for me to diagnose. But it like, you have to watch for the hypomania, because you mainly see the depression. So the hypomania is like really sneaky.
So ironically, I actually spend most of my life in hypomania rather than depression, even as a teenager. So I didn't go through like long spells of depression. I went through like week-long or like weeks-long bouts of hypomania, where I was going through promiscuity, as you touched on earlier, as a form of self-harm.
And so that's a really good point right there. So where are you in your dating life currently?
So I'm currently single. My long-term partner and we broke up last year. So I live with my cat, Miss Frizzle, and I live with my 2 guinea pigs, Reggie and Clive.
Oh, so were you the one that was saying that you're gonna be a cat lady forever?
Nope.
That's
But I probably will. I will probably have cats, but I'm more than a cat lady. I'll be a cat lady phlebotomist and a doula.
Right. It seems like it's a derogatory term, but you can still have cats and you can still have love in your life.
Yeah. It's all encompassing.
So
you know,
how do you feel like bipolar has affected your dating life, and where does that stand right now? Are you looking? Are you not looking?
So I would say bipolar. I was just having this discussion with my counselor last week. Like because right now I'm not interested in dating anybody. I actually went through EMDR.
Okay.
And it healed a lot. And so one of the beliefs that I healed was sex is my safety. So whether I was trying to keep a relationship or get a relationship or prevent like sexual assault, I was having sex when I necessarily wasn't consenting.
Wow.
You know,
that's the thing about mania and sex. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I also like realized that anytime I was hypomanic, that's the equivalent of being drunk. It really is. You're in an altered state of mind. And I was thinking about all the times I was engaging in sexual behaviors. I felt like I was taken from, that it wasn't me giving away those parts of me. So thankfully, that's ironic for me to say, but a lot of my trauma was tied around sexual activity. So when I healed that belief, it healed a lot of my trauma. And I've now realized that I am not a physical touch. I mean, I felt like a slave to my body for, my virginity was taken from me at the age of 13.
Sorry to hear that.
And I'm almost 30. So for 17 years almost, I was a slave to my body, doing what it wanted me to do because it felt there was no other alternative. And so part of the reason why my relationship ended was I wasn't as interested in sex as I was when we first got together. And then all the diagnoses, because first it was bipolar and borderline personality disorder. And then the following year, it was PMDD. I got added into that. And the following year was ADHD. But of course, it's all manifesting at once.
Right.
And it just got to be a lot. So what I was talking with my counselor about last week was, what do I do when I am ready? Do I just like say, hey, these are my neurodivergencies, and this is what it means. This is what it encompasses. Can you get down with all this? You know, like, do I just put that all out on a first date?
I do not think so. That's a very important conversation to have. I don't think it's a first date conversation, only because we are currently where we are in society. People don't understand mental health. So imagine you hop on Hinge, meet somebody, go on a first date. You say, "Oh, I have bipolar 2." They're gonna be like, "Oh, she's gonna beat me up," because people associate mental illness with
violence.
When people are more likely to be the victim in that situation when they have a mental illness. So I don't think it's a first date conversation to have, but is it a conversation you definitely have before you get intimate with somebody?
Is that stuff? Okay, so maybe not on the first date. Is that stuff that one should put on their dating profile?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I am not sure. I don't think it's something that you should put on a dating profile, only because in my opinion, I don't think that we are defined by our diagnoses. So like if I make a dating profile, I'm not Kojo 31 ADHD, like there's so much more to me than that. And there's so much more to you than your diagnosis. But as you get, definitely before you get intimate with somebody, I would bring that up, because that is, your diagnoses are an explanation of your behaviors. It's not an excuse, but it just best explains the behaviors that you exhibit. So before you get intimate with somebody, I would definitely let them know, hey, for me, like I like to take my time. This is what I'm dealing with. If you're gonna be in my life, like these are the expectations. This is how I feel when this happens. This is a trigger for me. I've been through X, Y, and Z. Because just based off of what I've heard, for you to just hop into a relationship where it turns sexual right away, it wouldn't be the best idea, because you wouldn't have enough time to really just figure out, like, oh, is this what I want to do? Or like, is this something that, because you mentioned that you felt like you were a slave to your body. And if that's the case, then we make a real good point can be made about, was I able to consent to this? Did I really want to do this? Or not that they took advantage of you, but like maybe you didn't truly want to do that yourself. So I think that it's a conversation that should definitely be had before any type of intimacy, even kissing. Like I would keep things like hands, like second grade Indian style, legs crossed, like until even holding hands, because intimacy is more than just sex, but it is your body. If you don't have that discussion, and if you don't feel safe, your body will reject any type of intimacy that's coming your way, because you're not sure if it's harm or you don't know if you're safe. So I would definitely say before you get intimate with somebody, I would have that conversation, and that will help you weed out people who are, because on a dating app, you don't know if somebody's there just for sex or whatever they may want. And if they're there just for that, and they find somebody who's also there for that, boom, it works out. But if somebody is there just for that, and then they approach you and you want to take your time with it, that's not going to be a good combination at all.
Well, so one thing, so when I first healed that belief about myself, and I told my counselor, I was sobbing. I'm like, I feel like I'm broken, because I went from having an overly high sex drive when we first got together to having next to none, and I was curious about different sex personalities. So I looked into that, and I have a romantic sex personality. That's just a quiz on the internet. But I learned that my partner is he was very different. And that created a very large disconnect in our intimate life.
Right.
And I think I think more people need to be open about attachment styles and love languages, in fact, I think those are conversations that I like to have on a first date, rather than asking what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Because especially I have a disorganized attachment. That alone, if I find myself with an avoidant partner, that's going to gear me to be more anxious in my attachment and cause a lot of anxiety that I don't necessarily need to be feeling,
Yeah, I,
you know?
I completely agree. Those are first date questions, and even people on TikTok are saying write in personality types. You want to make sure that, because once you get past a certain age, when it comes to dating, we're wasting our time. If I'm here for this, like if I'm here for peanut butter and you're there for jelly, well, those two go together. But you get the point.
I
If we're
do.
here for different things, it's not going to work, and we can
Right.
just save a lot of time and a lot of pain and heartache. Because if you don't have these conversations and you click with the person, then you're just driving a car that's going to crash at some point. But you're going to have fun for as long as the ride lasts, and we don't want to do that. So those
Right.
are first date conversations. Like some guys don't know, but like, what's your attachment style? What things do you like? What things do you not like? I think the purpose of a first date nowadays, which is why I like, coffee dates or something that's kind of like,
Low
not
key.
too extravagant. The purpose of a first date is really to see if there's any compatibility and if we should go on the second date.
Yeah, the
Because
second date
when
could
you
be
go-
more active and engaging.
right. And if you have a connection with somebody on the first date and nothing happens, I think the second date is a perfect time to let them know, all right, like this is what I'm looking for. What are you looking for? And
Hmm.
I would ask that question on the second date. If you cannot get past that second question, if it's not congruent, I would not divulge anything about your mental health. I wouldn't even move forward at that point, honestly.
Yeah.
But if y'all appear to be looking for the same types of things, then I would get into talk about my mental health journey. This is where I'm at. I'm not the type of person who's going to jump into this, or my sex drive fluctuates, especially with a guy, because
Yeah.
guys, like, when we head into a situation with somebody new, that's the predominant thing on our minds. So
Mhm.
it's good to and then you also get a real good look at what his plans are for you. If you take sex off the table, like, you're going to really see where he stands. So that's
Yeah.
the good news. You shouldn't have to wait too long to have your answer.
Yeah. And I completely agree. And I feel like I'm very transparent. I recently had an old flame pop up in my life out of nowhere, like haven't talked in years. And he's just
Okay.
like, hey, like, how's it going? So, like, I met up with him and, like, we hung out and he had
Okay.
kids. And I told him, I'm like, I don't want to be a mom with my mental, like, my neurodivergencies and the
Mhm.
needs that I know I have. I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to be a stepmom. I don't want to have them be a mom, like a dad. Like, I just don't want to be a mom. I describe myself a little bit as a toddler. I I want popsicles when I'm upset. I want a
Mhm.
soft blanket and I want to watch cartoons. You
Mhm.
know, like, I nurture my inner child because I didn't get to be a child when I was younger,
And
you know?
I respect that. Did you catch Colby's part of the live stream where he was saying that he didn't want any kids?
Yeah. And then, people are saying, like, to adopt. And I think, just like women, you need to respect someone's desire or lack of desire to have
Mhm.
kids. We know what we want. I mean, Colby, he said he's 30. I'm almost 30. And I'm very settled. Like, I have a plan. Like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask, like, a future partner to get a vasectomy because I don't even want an accidental pregnancy. That's
Mm.
not fair to the child. I think more people should put more thought into having kids.
I completely agree. It's
You
not
know
something that you just wake up on a random Wednesday and like, oh, I'll have a kid. No, it's
exactly. And
a major life change.
like, I had a miscarriage, and my mom was more attached to the pregnancy than me.
Mm.
I have never felt the strong desire to be a mom. I firmly believe that some people are meant to be moms and other people are not.
I agree.
And I make a hell of an aunt and I love it. You know, I'm just the aloof aunt that
I,
pops up every now and then, and it's perfect.
I love the self-awareness. And like Tiffany's saying here, knowing what you don't want is key. Like, you know what you don't want.
Hmm.
So now, like, this is where boundaries come into play. Because sometimes we know what we don't want, but we'll take it just because we're like, oh, I'm lonely, or No, this is where
Mhm.
you have to definitely stand on business and say, I don't want to be a mom. So if you get with a
Mhm.
guy, if everything is great, but he's not willing to get a vasectomy, or
Yeah.
you don't have a reliable form of birth control, there is
Mhm.
nothing wrong with saying, I cannot move forward, because you not moving forward, or you moving forward, is you really betraying yourself, because you said
Mhm.
clearly that you don't want to do something. So if you can eliminate that from being a possibility by following these clear steps, that does not sound too complicated.
I don't think so, Kojo. And I've been following your page for a while, and I've loved everything you've shared about relationships and things with
Appreciate that.
like that. It's been so beneficial, you know,
Appreciate
and even just like ADHD struggles, like you help all of us feel seen and heard. And apparently you're a matchmaker now. Like I saw some
it.
like hard eyes in the comments on Colby's feed, and
Yeah,
um, I think you're doing really, really powerful work here.
I appreciate that. It
Yeah.
really means a lot to me to, I mean, I see the comments and, the DMs. I don't go in the DMs too many times because it feels kind of weird, all this praise, but like just you verbalizing it, it means a lot to me. It really means a lot to me. And like I was telling people earlier in the stream, like we all need reminders of who we are and what we're doing. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so
I
much.
know. And I think what, you in Trish's little segment there, you said like you have to like love yourself. You have to fall in love with yourself. And
You
you
have
asked where
to.
I'm at in my journey, and that's where I'm at. I'm taking care of my mental health. I'm
I
working a
love that.
job as long as I need to get where I
Mhm.
want to be. And I'm starting to like do things that I enjoy again, like volunteering at the soup cafe and going to plays and
I love that.
taking myself on dates. And it's ridiculous because like I've gone on a couple of dates by myself, and these guys, like I'm clearly sitting there not wanting to be bothered. Like I'm
Mhm.
like by myself, and they have the audacity to like get at me while I'm leaving. Oh, I was gonna buy you a drink. Like, where are you going? Like, mind your business. I'm going home.
You said I want to be bothered, and as guys, we have to learn the signs of a woman who doesn't want to be bothered. I see it all the time at the gym. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
she has headphones and like three scarves on. She doesn't want you to talk to her. It was a clear
Exactly.
"do not talk to me" sign. I,
I know,
I,
but then we as
Mhm.
women also need to figure out a way. How do we convey to the male gaze that we want to be approached? You know, without being and like having the right guys approach you, not just
Right.
every guy approach you. It's like you need a secret signal or like lemon juice writing or something. Like
That'd be very helpful because we are very confused. And I tell guys for the most part, if you have a doubt, don't approach. Like, nobody wants
yeah,
to be like me too or whatever. Like, don't approach. But if you, for some reason, if she's looked over your way three times and she's smiling, okay, like
yeah,
those are social cues that, oh, hey, I can have a
yeah,
conversation. But if it ain't doubt, I always say don't approach because nobody wants to feel uncomfortable at the grocery store, at the gym. But shoot or shoot. So sometimes guys will approach and it could work.
yeah. And I think so often women we're approached by the wrong, less pleasant gentlemen. You know, And I think as women, like I like to be open minded to the
Mhm.
possibility. Not every man approaching me is going to have ill intentions.
Right. I
And if
agree.
I close off every interaction, I never know what kind of connection I'm gonna miss out on, what kind of
Right.
experience.
Right.
So especially at my job, like I love it because I get to interact with people all over the state,
Hmm.
and I love it. I've met really good friends, and I've dated people from work, and then sometimes the connection it just happens.
Yeah.
And I think that it's okay for women to be aware and even be prepared, but don't expect the worst from everyone,
Right.
you know, because this world is crazy and beautiful and majestic.
Yeah.
And I mean, gosh, if I hadn't, like, who knows how many people I'm reaching right now, with
It
just
could
my
be a
words.
lot.
Like that's amazing.
I
So,
think that's amazing. And that's why it's good for us to hear all these different stories,
mhm.
because the more we know, the more we have hope in the rest of the population. Like, you will find your person, you will find your people. The
Oh,
world is
yeah.
not as bad. The world's awful, but it's also amazing. It's great, but it's
Mhm.
also sad sometimes. You know.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna bring
Yes.
on James
Thanks,
here.
Kojo. Have a great night.
Are you too, Kristen? Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right. Bye. That was awesome. That was so amazing to have Kristen on there. And Aaron. Okay, let me do this. James, I'm ready to bring you on whenever you were ready. Bring on James. And Aaron, I'm not able to. Aaron, let me get back to that in a second because I got James here. James, what's going on, my guy?
I'm going through a breakup right now. Like it's
Sorry to hear that, man.
yeah, 5 year and a half, almost 6 years relationship,
Ooh, okay,
and
wow.
we got rocky back in 2023. Like I
Say
cheated.
that last one more time.
Again.
Can you say that last part again? You said you're going through a breakup. Y'all were together for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, some 5 or so years, so almost 6 years. Like only a few months left.
Hmm.
Yeah, but then
Okay.
the reason why we got so rocky in a relationship because back in February 2023 last year, I cheated, but then I admitted it. I
Oh,
went
so
to
you
another
cheated and then you
city.
admitted it.
Yeah, I admitted it because my
Oh,
reason
why would
was
you do that?
my I don't think she deserves it. I don't think she deserves it, and she deserves to know the truth.
I agree.
But then I had my reasons. It wasn't just pure lust or sex or whatsoever. Before I went to another city is to go to my grandmother's place, my heart was so like how do you call this? I have a very bad feeling about her because I keep
Mhm.
telling her that my I myself I'm so goal driven, career driven person, and basically moving forward in life. And
Mhm.
she got out of college, but we study in the same college. But it's just that my vision or like myself, I changed or like I don't know if I don't know if I can call I don't know if I can call it I outgrew her because who am I to judge? Who am I to judge her growth, right?
Okay.
So that's what I felt back then. That's why I felt that I thought I outgrew her, and I told her that you should start to like become really serious about your life. If you're going to go into a certain job, make sure that job is scalable. Like the progression is gonna be long. Like in the next 2 years, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that because
Mhm.
the salary progression is also comes along with that. I think that way, but she's not like that. But I think I tried to change her.
Okay. All right.
Right.
So right. So
This
there's a
this
lot.
this is the this is the history. I think I'm talking about the roots of the breakup, or you
Okay.
want me to talk about the breakup itself, like what's really going on these past few months?
Right. Well, give me a second because we have to get on the same page here. Because I heard that you got out of a 5 year relationship, 5 or 6 year relationship, and you
Yeah,
mentioned
something
that
like that.
things changed when you cheated. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So, and I'm also hearing that a lot of the things that she was doing, you weren't confident about either who she was or the direction that she was going in. Is that correct? So the girl that you met when you first started to date her is different from the girl she is now.
No, I became different. I became different because I
You
wasn't
became
just a normal student anymore.
you were
Basically, I was just studying, but school is not my priority anymore. So basically, I got exposed to life. I get exposed to work. So
okay,
basically,
okay, okay.
hustling in life. So studying was secondary in my priorities. So like my mindset also shifted.
Okay.
So
So
that's where
you
we,
change. You change as a person. Is that correct?
yeah,
Okay. All right. Do you still love this woman? Yes or no?
yes, I do. But she's with
Do
another
you,
man right now.
she's with another guy right now.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you all break up?
We broke up last November. Last oh no, but but yeah, last November. Yeah.
Okay. I can't hear you. I'm hearing like
We
okay. All
broke
right.
up last November.
Broke up last November. Okay. So and you
Yeah.
still want to be with her?
Yeah, but I don't think we would work because
I'm not
she
sure if you want to
forgave
be
me
with her.
about she forgave me about my cheating, but I think there's another issue. This is what uh keeps my guilt and regret because I wasn't given justice. I wasn't given a talk of where we are in the relationship. I kept
Mhm.
asking that. I was not given that because I already feel and I already know that we are not in the same page. We are not on the same level anymore, or like how we view the relationship. I
Right.
kept asking that, and suddenly she broke up with me last November, and
Mm.
now putting things together, I think the man that she's with was way longer than the 2 months have passed since we broke up. Because last December 5, we were still talking. November 29 was our anniversary. Even though we broke up, I told her, "Can we watch movie? Can we go out to dinner?" Something like that. She went with me. She went with me.
Mhm.
But then our relationship was transactional. Was only transactional. There's no emotions involved, something like that. Only transactional. I thought we could work things out. I really
All right.
thought we could work things out. And then she told me to not to talk to her yet, let things cool down. And then December 5, I called her, "Are you out of your work already? Are you going home? How are you?" Something like that. She responded. But then when I called her at exactly 10 to ask her if you're out already at work, and then, you know, like, "Are you going home already?" She said that she didn't answer. And she said she's eating with her workmate. And then it's already 2 a.m. in the morning. I kept calling her. She's not answering. When she answered, it was so quiet. And I know when you answer the phone and it's quiet, you are inside the car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got some news for you. I got some news for you.
yeah,
There's a good chance that she probably was with that other guy at that time.
yeah. She is. I caught them.
You caught them.
I went to her house. Um, knock on their door, but the AC was off in her room. So I said, the AC was off, so she's still not home.
Mhm,
Then I waited outside, beside the road, and then the car passed by me,
mhm.
and then I saw her covering her face, something like that,
Oh,
because
okay.
the window is not tinted. And then they went along because I think she was embarrassed or whatsoever. And then I think she felt guilty, so they stopped. She hopped out of the car, and then I told her, "That's the guy you gonna replace me," something like that. That's then
Yeah.
then
So
she
so
told me then she told me na then she told me that they went to a different a city where there's a lot of a city that is elevated. It's like that
mhm.
mountain views, a lot of mountain views out there. So they went. She told me that that she told me that they went with their workmates, not just the two of them. But my question was, but my question was, why are you in the front seat? And while I am talking to you, while I got her right, and then I talked to her. While I was talking to her, she said she's afraid of me that I might hurt her. I told her, for the past 5 years, I never hurt you. I raised a finger on you. Why would I hurt you now? I just want to talk to you. What's happening? Like, then she's calling the guy while we were talking. She's texting the guy while we were talking.
James, let me hop in real quick. This whole time, you all were already broken up, correct?
Yeah, we were broken up, but I thought we could still work things out because we were really comfortable with each other. Even though we broke up, you know
Mhm.
we're really comfortable with each other. For the past 5 years, we really deep down in our relationship.
All right, okay, all right. So here's the thing, James. And is there a way you can lower the volume so that way we don't get the echo? Or maybe are you watching it on a different stream? Okay, all right, there
No,
we
I'm
go.
on the phone, but I can transfer on the computer.
No, it's good right
Okay.
now. So what's happening is more than likely when she broke up with you, there's a good chance that maybe you wanted to get back with her, but sometimes what happens is because she left you, you want, like, if you all break up, you would be more comfortable if you had more of a say in it. But you might not want her back. You might just want the control over the situation. And
Yeah,
you have to judge. One second, you don't have to judge yourself. And because whenever you've broken up with somebody, and then you're trying to think about what they've done after the breakup or who they're with, technically speaking, it's not any of our business, and it's not any of, like, it shouldn't be your worry. And now you could always get back with this person, but before you get back with somebody that you've been with for 5 years, you have to ask yourself, do you want to get back with this person because you want to be with them? Because technically, hear me out, this might sound harsh, but if you want to get back with her, then you have to accept her back and not worry about whatever she's done in this gap that since November until now, which can be really hard. And likewise, she has to be able to forgive you for the cheating from last year. And those are quite big hurdles to work through. And if you're not able to work through those hurdles, you cannot judge yourself. You see what I'm saying? But I don't want you to be fighting an uphill battle that you're not sure if you want to fight this battle.
and here's the story. She's breaking up with me. I accepted it. She went to my place and we talked. And I wanted more time. Can we talk more? Because we only talk for like an hour, and an hour
Mhm.
is a very short amount of time to talk about a lot of things that happened to us. And and I told her that it's okay if you break up with me. Let's just talk things out where we went wrong.
Mhm.
I know that we don't align anymore. I know that we don't align anymore. And then that's before that's before I caught them. Days before I caught them. And then I mean weeks, I mean 2 weeks or a week before I caught them. And then the guy before we broke up, the guy keeps commenting on her posts on social media. And then she responds like just like a decent response, but not that, engaging.
Mhm.
Because her reason was it's her workmate. So, I wasn't being, cutthroat, something like that. That I would, why are you commenting on that post, something like that. But I was worried. I told her I am worried, something like that.
James, I'm lost. What are you worried about? You all are broken up. So what are you worried about?
No, no, no. This was way before the breakup. The guy
So
she's been with right now, that's the guy that's commenting on her post. And then when we broke up, she deleted those posts where the guy comments on her post.
right. So James, you have to understand. A lot of times, let's say you break up with somebody, the person that they get with is sometimes somebody who was already there and you're within your circle, within your vicinity. So it's going to be very hurtful. And but there was hurt coming. Look, even if you cheated, it does not mean that somebody should hurt you back. Okay, but you have to understand here in this situation, it's quite broken. Not that it can't be fixed, but you have to figure out, is it her you want back, or is it the old times? I want to know right now, because look, this right here is a form of trauma. I'm not diagnosing you, but these are all traumatic things that we all go through as men. And speaking from man to man, I have been through situations just like this. And when I was in this situation, I could not control my emotions to make good decisions. So because of that, I had to rely on the people around me who would say, "Hey, Kodo, put down your phone, get off of Facebook, get off of Instagram, stop worrying about what she's doing. Don't worry about what party she's at." Because if you sit here and you think on this situation, if you continue to persevere on this, it could literally drive you crazy to where you're not able to focus and sleep. You're not able to do like your job in the morning. This situation can drive you absolutely nuts because you're thinking about the
It
good
it
times
it,
that you
it
had.
already did. It already did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
go ahead.
here's the additional story. She told me that, what are you doing? We what are you doing? Why are you with the guy immediately? What are you doing? That's not the right thing to do. I told her that. That's not the right thing to do, because jumping from a relationship to another relationship, like with just a span of few weeks, I told her, what are you doing to
True.
yourself? Put some respect onto yourself. I told her that.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, but James, you have to understand, you don't want her to go from you to the next guy because of how it makes you feel. Now, you are correct. Jumping from one relationship to the next, that's not healthy. You're correct, but it's because of how it makes you feel. So right now, this situation, and as men, we have to understand anything that has the potential to shift us and take us off of our center, anything that can emotionally get you up, down, left, or right, you have to take a step back. Literally, you have to take a step back all the way and catch your breath. And you have to remember the person you were before this relationship. Okay. So, right now, what is more important to me? I know this segment is called Find Your Love. Right now, I'm not worried about you finding your love. I'm worried about, instead of looking for the woman of your dreams, can you become the man of your dreams? Can you become.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. That's yeah. Here's what you told me, that I'm getting. I thought you told me that it's gonna get me emotional, right?
Right.
Even before we broke up, I was already emotional because of what are the things that are happening in my life.
You
And
okay?
she's been with me all throughout those times, and
Mhm.
I feel guilty because I am ungrateful. I feel regret because, like, I was really ungrateful, but because I wanted her to level up on my level, not not go down in her level, and what she
Right.
wants also.
Right.
Yeah, that's I realize that now. That's why I've been living with regret in the day by day right now.
Right. And that's the part that is more important to me about finding any type of love. It's the regret. And here's the thing about regret. Regret is really like the first road on the highway to depression. When you sit in regret for too long, because you can't change the past, but when you sit in regret, it makes you feel helpless because you can't change the past. All you can do is sit and feel bad about what you did. And look, you've done some wrong in a relationship, but also she has done some things that probably weren't good, because no relationship breaks up because only one person was bad. So you have to understand that forgiving yourself here is the key. And getting look, and you're not the same guy you were 5 years ago. You have changed as a guy. And this is a mistake that a lot of us as men make. I've made it before. I've seen patients who've made it before. You get with a woman, and here's the thing: men and women, we are not the same. All right. So when a woman comes to you, James, is like, I want to date James. She's looking at you, right, the guy you are today, and she's like, oh, James is a pretty cool guy. In 10 years, I bet James could be here because James is doing all these amazing things. In 5, 10 years, I know James is gonna be such a great guy. He's a good guy now, but he's gonna be a better guy in the future. When we as men look at a woman, we normally want her to stay the same exact way that she is. And of course, like, level up in your career. But the way that we see her is almost the way that we expect for her to be. So when she starts to change, or when she doesn't change the way that you expected her to change, then it becomes frustrating because you're like, I've invested so much energy, time, emotion, and resources into this one woman, but she's not becoming the type of person that I want her to be. And a lot of times the answer is that's not your person, but you want to make it your person. And trying to do that brings a whole lot of pain.
So
Because even
so basically, even though we're still 5 years in the relationship, she's not my person because she's not, like my vibration or frequency, like the way I move, the way I handle my life, we're not really the same. Like how we view things, something like that.
I'm saying she's not your person. I'm not sure, but if she's moving in a whole different direction, and if she's doing things that don't align with what you would want, then that's not your person. But when you date somebody for 5 years, that's a half of a decade. It becomes very, very difficult to see yourself with anybody else. So, like, you're about to go on a journey right now, and look, I know it's difficult, and as men, we shouldn't be ashamed about this. Like, I've cried over a woman before. I've cried over multiple women. Like I've done it before. I mean, I'll probably do it again in the future. I hope not, but these things happen. But right now, if you can detach yourself from this situation and understand, look, the times that you had were great. It was great times, but 2019 versus 2024, you're a whole different person, and she's a whole different person. So as you move on, and look, my thing is, if you want to get with her again, sure, but you cannot get with her under the same terms. You should go and make yourself the best version of yourself, and then look back in like a year from now and say, do I still want to date her? Maybe you will, but I can guarantee you, if you make yourself the best version of yourself, the only way you will want to date her is if she's the best version of herself. And if she's not, you're able to pick from all the women in your area because you are now the best version of yourself. And look,
I
here's
think
the thing.
she's taking revenge on me because back then when our in our relationship, she's not allowed because she's respecting her father. She won't hang out overnight. She won't go home late. Now when she gets out of work 10 in the evening, he gets picked up by the guy and gets home at 2 a.m. in the morning, or like, at dawn. And like, I feel unfair because I've been asking you that in our relationship, and now you are doing it with another guy. And the way she dresses right now, like, she dresses before, like, showing all her skin. And I don't want that as a guy, but I'm not that controlling. But now the way she dresses is so formal, like, like, okay, like she's slapping it into my face that you did something to me, something like that.
James, she's not slapping anything into your face. If I'm, to my knowledge, she's living her life. But you have to understand, when people know that their actions are able to influence you in a certain way, right now, the way things are, she can post a photo on Instagram right now, like this, she can do whatever, and she'll know that it's gonna send you in a spiral. No one person
She
should have that
she
much
post she
control over
already
you.
posted a picture with him and the guy,
It,
but
it, it,
they're
you
not
shouldn't be
showing
looking at
they're
her.
not showing it in public yet that they're still together. They're side by side. They're with last time I saw. I don't know what's going on anymore because I am black. Last time I saw last time I saw she's with the guy, but they're a little bit distant. They don't want to public that they're together, like a
Do you
little
still
bit
follow
low
her on
key.
social media? Do you still
No,
follow her on
I
social?
blocked her already.
Oh, yeah, I think she should stay blocked. If I know it'll be difficult, but I would not keep up with any of her social media posting. The best thing you can do for yourself right now is to take care of James. Like, I would not look at any of her posting because if we're being honest here, she has the right, and it's going to sound very difficult, but she has the right to sleep with whoever she wants. She has the right to wear whatever she wants to wear. She has the right to post whatever she wants to post on social media. She has the right to go out with one guy on Tuesday and go out with another guy on Thursday, because that's not against the rules. She's able to do whatever she wants to do. But if you can focus on yourself and just disregard her, because let's just say she's doing that to get revenge. Hypothetically speaking, if she's doing that to get revenge on you, but you're not following her on social media, guess what? She's just doing herself a disservice because she's brokenhearted and she's reeling from the breakup and she's going here from this place to that place. I'm not sure if that's what she's doing. I don't want to say that. But if she is trying to get revenge on you, as you're saying, if you're not following her on social media, guess what? You don't see any of this. And right now, she has way too much power over you.
Yeah.
You haven't healed from
I
the
recent,
situation.
I decided the other day that I'm gonna send. I decided the other day that I would message her and ask
No,
for
no, 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 no,
forgiveness.
no, James, no. Don't message her. No communication with her at all. I know it's gonna be very difficult. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Because I feel
Hear,
regret and guilt for the things
no, no,
I've done because I became arrogant. I became arrogant. I became narcissistic also in a relationship. I became I
I
lost my
disagree.
patience. I became
I disagree.
foolish.
I don't think you're as bad as you're making yourself out to be because you're looking at the situation is in the past. So because you still care about her, there's nothing wrong with caring about her. But because you still care about her, when you look back at the situation, you're gonna look at it with rose-colored glasses. You're gonna look at it and think that, oh, I was bad. I could have done something. No, you're not as bad as. Hear me out. You're never as bad as you think you are, and you're never as good as you think you are. Right? So you are not narcissistic. You look, you're a man. You cheated. Like a lot of people have cheated. I have done it before. I'm not proud of it. I've told on myself, and I realize how hurtful those things are. And I realized, okay, you should never do that to a woman. If you want to open up the relationship, but you should always give somebody a chance to make a decision before you take matters into your own hand, right? We're all on a healing journey, just trying to do the best that we can do, right? But I don't want you to contact this woman at all. And it's going to be difficult because right now, you're not emotionally centered to be able to make the best decision. And I'm not saying that you're crazy. I don't even like that word. But all of us as men, even me, if I'm very attached to a situation emotionally, I'm not going to make a good decision. I'm going to be like erratic. So I
And
have to.
I feel like I didn't become a man enough in our relationship. I thought I'm gonna fulfill my dreams for us. I'm gonna give her the life that she deserves, something like that. That's man enough. But I wasn't man enough to pick her up at work, like sustain her needs. And
I
now I'm
disagree.
thinking that her man was able to sustain the
Nope,
things
nope,
that I
nope,
was
nope,
lacking of.
nope. I'm telling you for a fact. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm. I think I'm really good at what I do. In fact, I would say, in my mind, I think I'm the best. I know how this works. I understand people. You are not as bad as you are making it out to be. Okay. Is
You're the first. Ah. People around me keep telling me because I cheated, like I done these things and I'm this and that. And this is how I see it. When I elevated, she should have elevated with me also. But there's perspective, but
But
my
she did
friend's
it.
perspective. But my friend's perspective is, yes, you elevated, but you should have stepped down and asked her what she wants also. You shouldn't leave her behind.
Look, to even worry about what happened in the relationship or what you should have done, that is a conversation that doesn't do you any good. You have to forgive yourself, okay? Now, the part where you cheated, that's not good. Like, that is not how we should do things, right? You know that if you cheat on the woman, that's not acceptable. Okay, you've already done it. Cool. Moving forward. Next time, look, hear me. I believe in you. You're gonna move on. You're gonna find a beautiful woman and you're gonna live your life. And even when you have a beautiful woman, guess what? You're gonna look. I live in Los Angeles. It's a city with a lot of beautiful women. I can have a woman that I love, and I'm still like, oh, that girl looks good. But guess what? For me to cheat is not okay because that's not what she signed up for, unless it's a different arrangement, right? So In the future, you will have an amazing girl and you will still be tempted by other women. And guess what? This time, instead of cheating, you're going to say, I made a mistake in the past. I'm not going to make a mistake in the future. I know how to do things better. So you have to forgive the version of yourself that did these things, right? You're a better version of yourself now. So any type of communication with her is only going to send you back. It's not healthy for you to be anywhere close to this woman. Hear me out. Like if she wants to go, I don't even want to talk about what she could do because
I became
then
obsessed to her. I became obsessed to her. That's why I think, I was so attached. I became obsessed and possessive.
I can see that, and you're not a bad person for doing that. But if something is slipping away from your fingers, naturally you want it bad enough. You're gonna like. So you're not a stalker. You're not a crazy person. You're just somebody who cares a lot. But when you care a lot, you're not able to express it in healthy ways. It could lead to really bad situations. And this is a situation that could be potentially really bad if you're doing your best to communicate with this woman and her new guy shows up. As men, we're very territorial. The boyfriend versus the new boyfriend. You don't want any parts of that situation.
I think they are conniving against me. Like when I talk to her, when I show up in front of her.
Don't talk to her. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It does not matter what they're doing. Hear me out. Trust me. It does not matter what they're doing. I gotta say it one more time. It does not matter what they're doing. And people in the comments saying, "Seems like a young man." Look, that's the thing about us as men. With our women,
I'm 24 years old. We dated back when I was 18.
Say again.
I'm 24, but we dated back when I was 18. I'm 24 now.
So is this your first real relationship as a adult?
First long-term relationship, yeah.
See, that's why your first real relationship as adult is very difficult to deal with because you feel like you should be with this person for forever. So, and I'm telling you, please do not communicate with this woman at all. Let her live her life. And a lot of guys think that, like, let's say you want revenge against a woman. And no, the first breakup is definitely the hardest. A lot of guys are like, oh, I'm going to show her. The way you show somebody, let's say you want to show her, you really want to, the way you show somebody anything is just by leaving. You just leave. You just leave and you go live your life. You go live your life.
Can I really be honest and vulnerable right now? Because as a
It's a
man,
safe
my
space,
ego was bruised. My ego was bruised.
Bro.
Like my dream for us is me being able to pick her up with my car. But I was almost able to do that in 2022. But then I lost a whole lot of money. Yeah. And I got depressed, And then now the guy picks her up with the car, and my ego is bruised. Like, that's my dream for us. I dream for us to go to another country. I was planning this year for us to go to Singapore because her mother is working in Singapore, and I was planning to visit her mother, both of us, to go to Singapore this year, if not Japan. And I was holding to those things that we could do.
And look, James, you're going to help out a lot of guys right now because when our ego is bruised, the absolute worst comes out of us. And if you're honest with yourself, nobody can mess with you. You hear what I'm saying? A man who knows himself cannot be shaken by anybody, right? So your ego was bruised. I've been there before. We've all been there. And a lot of times when our ego is bruised, the thing that we lack when we see that in somebody else is a trigger for us, especially when we don't have resources. When our money goes low, for men, a lot of us are going to go into depression. We're going to isolate because if I don't have any money, why am I leaving the house? If I don't have any money, why am I looking at a girl? Like, I need money to like step outside and like breathe.
My reaction to when my ego was bruised was I looked down on this guy. It's like the guy, I'm much smarter than the guy, which I'm gonna be rational. I think I am smarter than the guy, that the things that I do, but I don't know in other aspects.
I hear you out.
But and then your work is like that, my work is like this, I do these things, I'm way much superior than you. That's the reaction of my ego, and that you're right. Like things, bad things come out of us. I became arrogant, and
Mhm.
my friends didn't like me. Even some of my friends got run over because what I said to the guy fits to them also.
Mhm. And look,
Even though I didn't say it directly to them, but it sounded generic, so it ran them over also.
right, and you have to forgive the version of yourself that did those things because you were only doing what the best you could in that moment. But I don't want like thinking about the past is I, I've worked with so many people who have gone through the worst types of depression in their lives. And in almost every single depressed person I've seen, there's always a big amount of regret. Regret is always there. And you have to be able to shake out of the regret to love yourself and forgive yourself because your emotional health depends on it. And contacting this woman in any capacity, looking at her stories, it's not healthy at all for you. And it's going to keep you in a position where, like, your decision making is going to be affected. You becoming the best version of yourself is going to be affected. And also, is also keeping you away from the next woman that you could love because the next woman is going to want to see the best version of James. And look, I do believe that every guy, like if I'm telling a girl, okay, these are the things you have to look for in a guy. Like if I have a daughter and I'm telling her what to look out for in a man, I'm gonna tell her look for a guy who's been through some real adversity. Maybe he's gone bankrupt. Maybe he's lost his house. Maybe he's gone through traumatic breakups. Because once somebody has been through adversity, you know that the next time it hits, you're going to be good. You're battle
And that's
tested.
what I'm looking for, or that's what I'm looking for in a woman also, because once you as a person have gone through things, something in life, whether lost a bunch of money, it's like lost your work, like
Mhm.
break up or whatsoever, you're gonna be better, you're gonna be changed, and I know that. And her, that's what way before our way before our relationships, I've been through a lot of, heartbreaks also, but those were short periods of,
Right,
relationship. But I was so young back then, so I wouldn't really consider that I was mature back then.
right.
But her, I am her first long term, I am her first really boyfriend, that we really committed. And the way the background of her life, she didn't really go through what I went through. So it's like the impact that it has in my life is different than in hers also. And the way we handle things is we have very different upbringings.
Right, right.
I
Oh,
think
okay,
I think that that has an impact also, because she grew up in her father's arms and I grew up in my mother's arms, so that's very different. I think I don't know.
yeah, yeah, but I don't want to talk about her. The less we talk about her, the better, because this has almost nothing to do with her and everything to do with you. Right now, your goal should be to pour into yourself, become the best man that you could be, all the things that you want to do. You're 24 years old, you're still young. Try things. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to go broke again. Take note of things that you do really well, things that you don't do well. Lean into all of that. Okay. I need you to hear me out. You need to become the man of your dreams. Don't even worry about a woman. And right now, you don't know what you're looking for in a woman. You don't
I
know
don't I
because
don't I have a standard
you,
in I have a standard in a woman, but my standard is so high that I think I don't deserve it yet. And right now, I don't want to date any. I don't want to date anybody. I just want to focus on my goals. I just want to focus on the things that I want to do.
I agree. Like you should be finding yourself. I would not worry about dating. You don't know what you outside of like what she looks like physically, because that's all we see in the beginning. Outside of that, you don't know what you're looking for in a woman's. But as you become the best version of yourself, hear me out. As you become the best version of yourself, everything becomes clearer. And also, what people don't realize as a man, the woman you pick when you're at a low it's different from a woman that you pick when you're at a high. That's facts. That's the truth. When you're going through a hard time, the woman that you pick is more than likely not going to be the woman that you stick with when you're at a high. Because look, I have been the lowest of low, broke, looking for $5 in my pocket, like I don't have, like I'm not going to eat today, broke, and I've had money, and I know that the woman that I was like the woman that caught my eye at a low was way different from the woman. And that's why I tell women it's not best to date a guy when he's at a super low because when he gets high, he's going to leave you. He's going to leave you. So as long as you focus on yourself right now, and look,
is that also does that also reflects on women? Because she told me the other day that I'm sorry, James. I was supposed to tell you the truth because I told her I don't need the truth from you anymore. I don't need justice anymore. I don't want, because I kept asking her way before, like, tell me what's happened. Like, tell me the timeline back when you got there. But
Haley will talk
then,
about this afterwards. So go ahead.
but then she thought, then I pieced everything. I told her that I think I know now, like 90% or more. But I just need, in order for it to 100 to be 100%, I just need your confirmation. But I don't need your confirmation now because I now know the truth based on what my guts and what I saw. And then she messaged me. She told me that I was supposed to tell you the truth. I was waiting that you're not gonna be emotional. I was waiting that you wouldn't shout, you wouldn't get exaggerated. I thought, I think I thought that's impossible because it's still fresh. 2 months ago we broke up, and then now you're with another guy, and I feel in them that they are calm and collected, like they really know each other, like they've been to places, something like that. It's not like in a relationship that it's still awkward, something like that. That's what I
I'm
feel
going.
in them. And we've broken up 2 months ago. Like, how come you got there so fast?
And look, and that is what look. I've been through the same situation, and I've like wondered, like, where did she get this guy from, or like, was she talking to him while we were talking? Unfortunately, none of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. And like, here's the thing with negative emotions and change. In order for you to make a change in your life, okay? Because you can look at this from one of two ways. You can look at this as, oh, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me and my life is ruined. Or you can say, this is the best thing. I think it's the second. This is the best thing that has happened to you in your life. And that when you go into therapy, that's what they do for you. They call it reframing. You take something and you look at it from a different angle, right? This is the best thing that has
That's
happened to
that's
you in
what
your life.
happened to me when we broke up. That's what happened to me when we broke up. But then when I found out that there's a guy, that's when I started to go down really, really down. Because I don't see a value in myself right now. Her, like, her nails is polished, like, like, um her eyebrows, like makeup
You
and
don't
shit.
know
Like,
that.
she's really
You don't
good
know that.
looking. And me, I am not even taking care of myself. I haven't been eating 24 hours the other day.
Because you're worried about her. You can't take care of yourself because you're worried about her. And the reality of the situation is you're worried about a woman who's with another guy. So now her nails are polished and she's smelling good and she's wearing the best clothes and she's on Instagram having the time of her life. And you are worried about her. And there's nothing wrong with that because for now, because that's where you are. But moving forward, you have to be able to pick yourself up and say, no longer am I going to sit here and do this. No longer am I going to disrespect myself by reaching out to her. And we've talked about this woman. I don't know who this woman is, but we've talked about her at length in this conversation. When not that I still hope that she does well in life, like I hope you do better
Yeah,
though. I'm on your side. I'm on your side.
you know,
But I want you to understand that.
I keep telling her that just put yourself in a situation where your future is good, where you have a very safe place.
Why are you still talking to her?
That's the thing.
And look, she will never respect you. And hear me out. That's one thing I know about women. Women either respect you or they use you. And that's as people. It's not a woman thing. It's people. So it's people. People will either respect you or they'll use you. So I want you, do not reach out to this woman at all. Do not
So I
contact
messaged
her
her.
again.
Messaged her recently, and she hasn't seen it yet. Should I unsend it?
No, no, don't unsend it because it shows that you message her and you went back to go unsend it. Don't send another message to her. Don't even.
From now on, I won't send anything.
Perfect. That makes me feel so much better. Do not acknowledge her at all. Do not acknowledge her at all. Just all I want you to do.
Should I cut my connection with her mother? Should I cut my connection with her mother? Because her mother and I are very close. We talk about
No, 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 no,
life.
no, no, no. I have the answer for you. For now, yes. Anything that makes you anything that reminds you of her, step away from it. And her mom is not a bad person. And look, I have an ex girlfriend right now. If I go to her house, she got a picture of President Obama, and then a picture of like civil rights leaders, and a picture of me. And I like her mom, I like her parents, but I don't need to be in that situation. We've broken up. There's no need to go back and rehash that. I would stay away from anything that because right now you are fighting for your emotional survival. Like this is a big moment in your life, and you have a lot of people here who are rooting for you. Do not worry about this woman. And also, I want you to hear me out, hear me clear. Do not be ashamed of this too, because a lot of men go through this type of stuff. And guess what? I'm just gonna be real with you. A lot of men kill themselves because of things like this.
Yeah, I've been thinking about suicide lately because I've been guilty and having regret if I shouldn't have done those things.
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
kill
yeah.
yourself,
But I
I'm gonna
told her
revive you and bring you back out, and we're gonna finish this conversation. We need to finish because no, I'm not gonna let you go out like that. And so many guys let this be the end of them. This could be the end of you, or this could be the beginning. This could be the first day of the rest of your life.
of the
This is a
breakthrough
very,
that I've
very
been striving for, right?
say again.
This or this is the beginning, or this is the beginning, the breakthrough that I am, striving for. Ever since in
It,
our relationship, I told her my lane didn't change. I am still really striving for my goals, my dreams, and the things I want in life. That didn't change.
right, and
I
look,
told her that, but
you got a
yeah,
lot of people
right.
here. You got a lot of people here in the
So
chat who are rooting for you. Okay, I'm rooting for you as well. Understand that so many guys go through this and they're not able to make it through. I'm rooting for you. I need you to be able to pull through this situation. Right now, you need to be as selfish as possible. All James needs to focus on right now is James, okay? And as you're becoming selfish, do not judge yourself because so many guys go through this type of thing and we don't know what to do. So some guys choose to go the route that you're going. Some guys choose to. What I did, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I just chose to sleep with as many women as possible because I was hurt, and that still didn't do any. It wasn't helpful for me, right? I don't want you to do either one of those things, right? But most definitely, I don't ever want you to hurt yourself. People have that thought. It's a very common thought, but I don't want you to ever hurt yourself. And also realize that there's no shame in reaching out for help. If there's professionals in your area, a counselor, a doctor, somebody that you can trust, talk to somebody because we would rather have you here. And hear me out. I don't know if this makes a difference for you, but sometimes person that you would leave this earth because you're not able to see them, sometimes those people will see you leave this earth and they'll keep living their lives and they won't care. I'm not saying that
and
that's who this person is,
here's the
but
thing. Here's what keeping me down. I don't see my value without the things, like what I told you earlier. I don't see my value without the materials, that the car, the 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 body that I
we need
want
to work on
that I want to achieve.
we need to work on that then because
Yeah.
and that's a big problem with men. And I'm no different. When you take away the fancy stuff, like we have to take away all the money in the world. Who are you? I have to ask myself that question. Take away all of my followers, the millions of followers. Take away everything. Who am I? The person at the end of the day. Do I like what I see when I look in the mirror? Those are difficult questions. But guess what? If we're not okay with our bare bones self, then when you get the money or the car or whatever, you're not able to feel confident. You can't build your foundation in that, because if that stuff goes away, because it comes and goes, it comes and goes. People hit the lottery. Somebody go win the lottery tomorrow and win millions of dollars, and before that they were broke. When the material positions come and go, your self-esteem will go up and down like this. I don't want you to feel like that about yourself. So we have a lot of work to do, but it can be much easier if we just focus on ourselves. We don't have to focus on. Don't worry about the woman right.
I feel guilty. I feel guilty about putting my money on a psychotherapist where I can put that onto my investments.
No. See, the psychotherapist is an investment. That's the biggest investment that you can make. You're investing into your brain. Do you know what happens when people's brain goes out? Like when you no longer have a brain, whether it's microcephaly or whether it's a traumatic brain injury or whether you've lost touch with reality and like you can't get back to who you were. When your mental health goes away, you cannot do anything. Like you can't take a shower, can't brush your teeth, can't leave the house. You're stuck. When you're depressed, you're stuck. Investing into a psychotherapist is right now, that's the best investment that you can make. That's the I can't think of anything that's better. That is the number one investment you can make, because if you can take this pain and you can channel it the right way, oh, people are gonna have to deal with you. You're gonna be one very focused Mickey Ficky, and you can do this too. But you have to, right now you have to be very selfish. You gotta be very selfish. Very selfish. You hear me out? And I don't know the people who are watching this on TikTok, the people who are watching this wherever, understand there's nothing wrong with being selfish. In fact, I wish I had been more selfish earlier in my life. I wish I'd been more. Look, I've lost thousands of dollars trying to help people out who didn't have my best interest in mind. Thousands of dollars. Like I wish I could share the actual amount, but it'd be embarrassing. Like I need to focus on myself. I need to focus on myself. And if you can focus on yourself, you will not only get the best version of you, but when you get up to the best version of James, when you get there, look back at the version you are today and don't judge yourself. Because sometimes you look back, you're like, I don't like who I was. No, you were just doing the best with what you could. You're just doing the best that you could with the information that you had. And you're going through a really difficult time. People don't understand how difficult breakups are. Breakups are very, very difficult. Somebody that you've been with for 5 years, you have to find a whole new way to live. But I know for sure you are capable of doing this. Let's be as
And
selfish as possible.
she perceive it. She perceives it as she.
We're not talking about she anymore. I can't even do that to you. We're not going to talk about she. We're not going to talk about she. Like
So basically, myself.
yes.
Even though I really cared about her back then. Even though I really cared about her back then, all I need to think right now is myself, and who
Right.
I thought about her, how I see her back then, how I think about her back then is not the same anymore. She's not the same anymore, and she's not the Katrina that I used to know anymore.
I don't even have a comment about her. I'm not. It's
Yeah.
all about you. This is all about you, and you can't see it because you're locked in. But I want you to know that a lot of people go through this. You're not an evil person, okay? You're just somebody who cares, and you're struggling to regulate your emotions. Do not worry about this woman at all. It's gonna seem unnatural in the beginning. Any pictures you have, throw the pictures away. Snapchat
I already
memories,
did. Yeah.
delete them. Facebook, block. Instagram, block. MySpace, damn it, block it. Everything should be if you have a smart refrigerator and she can contact you in their block, unplug your refrigerator. There should be no contact at all with this woman, no contact whatsoever. No contact whatsoever. We're not going to worry about this. Wish her the best. Hey, I wish you the best. And then when you leave, and this is what's going to happen when you leave. And look, if you really wanted her attention, like the best way to get a woman is to ignore her. I'm not telling you to be toxic, but like that, the best way to get anybody is to ignore them. And then, or like even if a girl doesn't talk to me and I'm like, oh damn, what's she up to? I'm gonna. That's just human beings. Ignore her completely, not for the intention of her coming back, but ignore her because you have moved on with your life. We no longer care. We no longer care. And when you put yourself first, you'll see a lot of people who will come. That's attractive energy. Men, women, people, they want to be around you. Oh, who is this person who is out here dressing really good, smelling good, combing his hair? I see your hair right now. You got a lot of hair. Like once you're taking care of yourself 1,000%, nobody can tell you anything. They can't tell you anything. Focus on getting your money up. As men, that is important. And don't judge yourself on it, but just get your money up. Get your money up. Become the best version. Become the best James possible. Don't wish any ill on that girl. Wish her the best. I think that's important. But that's the last I'll speak of her. Become the best version of yourself. Don't worry about women right now. Don't try and sleep with a whole bunch of women to make yourself feel good. Don't even worry about women. You see an attractive girl on the street, just do what it is. Don't look at women right now. Don't look at women. Become the best you. And when you are a more stable version of yourself, you're healed, then and you're ready to date, then you look around and look at the women who are available. You pick somebody, and then this time you're going to do so much better. But do not worry about this woman at all. You hear me? You hear me?
The connection that we had was very deep, and that was why I was holding on. But now that's, yeah, throw that away. That's not this. That's It's not the same anymore. Basically, the connection that you've had with her was cut off. It's like cannot be reconnected again.
Right. I'm not even worried about this lady. What I want to talk about, I know more about her than I know about you. What are you good at? What do you even like to do? What do you do for
I'm
fun?
into finance. I'm into a bunch of computer stuff. So that's what should where should I focus on, right?
Right. Finance, computer, anything else? What else do you do?
I go to the gym, but now I'm so skinny because I haven't been eating. I haven't been taking my macros because my self esteem is so down.
Okay. All right. So perfect. This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna research a lot of computer stuff. Look for things that you enjoy. All the time, energy, and resources put into yourself. Go to the gym. Start eating your. Make sure you can meet your macros. Make sure you can get the protein in. Go to the gym. Lift weights. Become strong. Like become the best version of yourself. Promise me one thing for the next 6 months. Be very selfish. Practice telling everybody in your life no every now and then. I can't make it. I can't make it. Become extremely selfish. Okay? Become extremely selfish and everything will fall into place. Everything will fall into place. You got that?
Yeah,
Okay. So before I let you go, I want you to tell me what you're gonna do before I let you go. I need
I'm
you
gonna.
to verbalize it back to me.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take care
Okay.
of my job right now because I might lost this because less in productivity, and maybe they're gonna lay off me because of my productivity. So I'm gonna take care of this.
Yeah.
To go to the gym and incorporate a bunch of activities. I used to play basketball. I used to be passionate about basketball. I haven't been
Mhm.
playing for the past 4 years. And
Okay.
my
So you
whole
gotta.
high school and college life was basketball. I was playing varsity. And now, for the past 4 years, I haven't been playing that. And I think I'm going to incorporate running because and it's not that I lost it already completely. I love physical activities, and I think that's what I wanna incorporate into my activities right now, into my routines, and manage my time after my work, gym, and run, and repeat, 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 repeat.
I love that. And also, I can't forget the last part. investing into your mental health, whether it's a psychotherapist or whatever it may be, don't feel like that's money wasted. That's life-saving money, and it helps to because right now you're figuring out a new way to live. So any money you spend on psychotherapy is not a waste of money. Okay, so I want you in a month from now, or whatever you can, email me and update me about what you're doing, and put in the title that we talked on the live stream. I'll get my assistant to flag it, and I want to hear an update in a month about how you're doing. Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
All right. A lot of people care about you. All right.
I'm
Don't
gonna read
forget
their
that.
comments after this.
Yeah. All right, James. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
Anytime. Yeah. Look, what a live stream. What a live stream. What a live stream. I think it's important. First of all, I think it's important for us as men to help out other men and to pass on the good word. And I mean, I've been there before. Like when you're heartbroken over a woman, it's one of the worst feelings in the world, you know. But right now, for that person, the best thing he can do for himself is to go all in on him. Go all in on him. And I can't wait to see the type of person that he becomes. The progress that he makes is going to be amazing. Watch. It's going to be amazing. And Jessica on TikTok said James is going to love the physical activity, especially the basketball again. Yeah, like you be on the court and then you become Steve Nash. And, like you're living life again. You're living life again. I cannot wait to see James live life again. Man. Hey, it's all good to get them tears out. It's all good to get them tears out. What's if your therapist, go see, you might have to find a new one. There was one more thing I wanted to address here. Let me see. I'm in a long-distance relationship, and this is a healthy relationship I've been in. My last relationship, I was abused for 2 years, and I left my ex and stayed single for 2 years. Sarah, so once again, maybe your ex needs to listen to me, but we can't be worried about that. Kind of like with James, we cannot be worried. And look, when it comes to love, like these things are very difficult, but we cannot be worried about, like, you got to keep the main thing the main thing. You got to keep the main thing the main thing. And my college roommates would always be like, man, you worry about the wrong damn thing, right? Sometimes if we worry about the wrong damn thing, we pay a price for that, right? We pay a price for that. And Haley had said something. Oh, yeah, this is about time to end this stream. Let me see what Haley had said. A lot of folks who staying up late at night, I guess we're all neurodivergent and or hypomanic. Jessica from TikTok, thank you for your comment. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right, let me end on this question right here. So, Fox Racer, if I'm in a hospital, right, or if is a patient is different, like if a patient is mentioning this to you, you have to ask, hey, like, okay, you have those thoughts, any plan, any intent, and if there's a plan and an intent, then we need to get a safety plan. And the best way to do that is to move towards hospitalization, to keep somebody safe. If there's a friend who's saying this, you know, I want to encourage them and see, like, if same thing, like you have a plan, like, you know, or where's your head at? If you do, there's no shame in it. Let's take a break. Let's you know, take a break and go get some help. And in terms of Fox Racer, in terms of YouTube, I'm not sure. See, I'm new to streaming, especially on YouTube, and we're streaming on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. So I don't know what the like the rules are. I would love to know. You know, like I really like to know what the rules are when it comes to this. From what I can recall in the conversation, he mentioned that he had those thoughts. I didn't hear any, like, you know, plan or ideation, but I do think that, and YouTube would back me up on it. So would TikTok and Facebook. All these platforms, to my knowledge, you know, promote safety of all the people who consume the content. So if there's anything that YouTube could do, I would love to know. But people don't realize that, like, suicidal ideation is very common. A lot of people just have that chronically. That's common. It's still not ideal. We want to work on that. But when it comes to the point where there's a plan in place and somebody has verbalized an intent to follow through with it, at that point, you do something. Whether you flag something or report a video, or like you reach out to a crisis line, so just keep that for your personal education information. If somebody verbalizes an intent, I see somebody saying 72-hour hold on TikTok. Yeah, but if somebody verbalizes an intent, then we need to move. We need to meet that with action. And Abby's saying it can be a cry for help. Sure, it can. But if somebody mentions something like that, especially with my platform, I need to figure. Of course, I know you can flag something, but I would do something. I would tell my assistant to do something, to flag something, or to do a wellness check, something of that nature. But yeah, these are important conversations to have. Yeah. And all right, yeah. Okay, all right. So it is getting late, y'all. I am going to sign off because I want to be able to do a stream tomorrow. Monday night is our regularly scheduled time to do a live stream. That's when we do the live show with Dr. Kojo. And this Find Your Love method, we'll bring the Find Your Love back and see how we can connect people again. Because I like what we're doing here. But yeah. These live streams have been pretty quite late. So yeah, we will call her a night for now, and then we'll double back around tomorrow, 6 p.m. California time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Until then, I love y'all. Peace.